Hello.
Hello.
Egon.
Hello.
What's going on, folks?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Boxing Day edition, if you live in Canada, or the day after Christmas edition for everybody else, edition of Fandom Power. We are your hosts. After 3 years of doing the show together, we are finally able to do a special holiday show all in the same place. And Hank, we are so happy.
Well, I'm happy to be here. It was a long walk, but I made it. It's colder here than there, so I had to wear 2 pairs of socks.
There you go.
It is Boxing Day here in Canada. So for those of you who got out and did some Boxing Day shopping, I hope you didn't kill anybody. Secondly, I hope you did not have to return anything. And more so, I hope that you got some good deals. The purpose of tonight is just to hang out. We might do an unboxing or two because Lord knows we have enough stuff.
We got our first comment coming in. It's from Eric, and he says he is
He
real.
is real.
Yes, he is. He's
I mean,
not a cardboard cutout.
That stuff's real.
And we got our second comment.
So much beer in one place. Glenn.
And a third one. Merry Christmas,
Oh,
everyone.
Steve, thanks, man. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
So we are ZZ Top. And
Despite the Rush
we have
t-shirt.
come to rock.
What? Oh, don't look at my bum. Okay, look at my bum.
Cheeky monkey.
We're going to get sent.
Looking at my bum.
Listen, did everybody have a good Christmas?
I think so.
I had a great Christmas.
I know
I don't want to get
yours
into
was,
the personal wackiness of mine, but I had a great Christmas. And I have a second Christmas when I get back to my lovely wife.
A third one, because you just had one today.
Well, that's true. I've got multiple.
Maybe a
I've
third
lost
or a
track.
fourth.
I have had so many Christmases.
You've had second.
What is the
Christmas.
plural
What about
of Christmas?
third
Christmases?
Christmas. I don't
Christmas.
know.
Christmas.
Christmas?
But there's plenty to go around. I hope all of your Christmas were amazing too.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Oh,
And Christmas side.
Christmas
side.
Eye.
Christmas
Eve.
Eye. There,
Christmas Eye.
yes, Christmas Eye.
I just think you put an extra S. Christmas.
Christmases.
It's like if more than one goose is geese, why is not more than one moose meese?
Right, Mies. The Mises. The Mises.
Listen, we are not a Star Wars channel, but
No.
I don't know about you guys, but I had a very Star Wars Christmas.
It was very Star Wars.
I had a
Rocking my
wonderful-
Bad Batch. Beyond the mic, I got the Bad Batch shirt on.
It is a Bad Batch.
My wife snuck this into my luggage.
Speaking of the Bad Batch.
Speaking of the
Speaking of the Bad Batch, where did I put it? Oh my God! I know I put it here somewhere.
He's probably in a sniping position.
Oh,
somewhere.
Here it is. As you know, we tend to review a lot of Star Wars stuff here. I was I don't want to say I was a detractor, but when the Bad Batch was coming out, I think I was the least excited for it.
Mhm.
And so it was a major turnaround for me because I thoroughly loved the first season.
Oh yeah. And if the trailer is any indication,
For season 2.
oh my goodness, it looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
And another quantum leap in the art quality
Mhm.
that we sort of expect from Clone Wars and Rebels.
Too much food. Great Christmas.
Excellent.
There is more food.
I can
Yes.
attest to that.
Yes.
Yeah, there is tons of it here in our house,
Bags
I'll
of
tell you that much.
tryptophan.
As established by Hollywood, it's 4 Christmases.
Okay.
4 Christmases.
All right. I'll take
All right,
it,
I'll
Hollywood.
take that. I'll
All
take
right.
that.
4 Christmases and a funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, not that.
The Bad Batch came out. It was a complete success for me. Completely turned me around. Huge fan. So much so that, as you can tell by my, where is it here? The clone display.
Go deep.
It's hard to see because of the lens, but the Bad Batch are all there, with the exception of the one that I missed because when it came out, it came and went so fast. Well, Andy,
Who did what?
Andy managed to. Sorry, Santy.
Another big guy with a beard.
Andy
Right,
Claus.
another guy.
Not to be confused with Anti Claus.
My God,
It's blurry.
Focus.
There it is.
Focus. Find it. Put it over Hank's face.
Oh, poor
He's there.
It's still
I
like
swear. Hello, focus on. Oh, wow. This is really.
You will focus where I tell you to.
How about
Oh,
me?
there it is.
It was there for a
It's
second.
there. Let me cover my face.
There it is. Hello, Echo. Not Echo. Oh, my God. The original Bad Batch Crosshair, who I missed. Of course, we all saw the we all saw the Imperial version. I think there was plenty of him going around.
True.
So
I still didn't manage to get
so happy to get this. So thank you, Santa Andy.
You're
one.
quite
Yeah,
welcome,
it's a
sir.
beaut.
Yeah. Oh, I brought down the other one.
She's a beaut.
This fish has eyes.
The fish has
eyes.
gaga.
Wait. It was just the fish
Is
are
out of the water.
Gaga.
You would have had to go to our high school.
I did go to your high
That's
school.
true.
Is it
How did you time for what?
an established tradition
Oh
for a
my-
show that
do
we're
you
not
have one?
running?
Oh,
I
yeah.
got one.
Okay, wait.
It's a thing already.
It's-
I don't
it's a
want
thing
to. I
already.
don't want to. I can't. We have no headphones. I have no way of monitoring this. But as we have established over the last several weeks, we do like to open the show with a little segment that we like to call "Bad Star Wars Jokes."
Nice. This one comes from the far corners of the interwebs.
Yes.
What did Han Solo say to the waiter who recommended the haddock?
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, I can't. I don't know.
What did Han Solo say to the waiter?
Never sell me the cods.
Nicely. Oh. And they probably charged $725 to 1 for it.
I
Yeah.
think everybody who's watching, if there's, I don't even know, do we have any fans in Newfoundland?
Maybe.
I don't know.
They all just went, oh.
They're all going to mail us cods to smack ourselves with.
Maybe.
I saw a great meme based on last week's Star Wars joke, Christmas themed
sure.
one, where it was Darth Vader and Luke on the platform at Bespin, and Darth Vader says, "Do you know what I got you for Christmas?" And he says, "No." And he says, "I felt your presence." And he goes, Luke says, "That's such a bad dad joke." And Vader says, "I think we're going to need to talk."
This has been your installment of Bad Star Wars Jokes. What's Kim saying? Kim's saying you guys are hilarious today, and as Ron Burgundy says, I love it.
Stay classy, Bob Cajun.
Eric says, wow.
I don't want to say Ron sitting next to what's her name? You're a bitch. Oh, where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company. 2022. It's rapidly coming to an end. Did we want to stick with Christmas, or did we want to talk about the year of I don't want to call it the year in review.
No, it's not so much a year review.
Kind
It's
of
more
the
of
year
a year
at a
of what
glance.
stuck.
You know what?
We got a lot.
I think we
thrown
can.
at us this
Sure.
year.
It's a huge entertainment dump this year.
We can talk. So we can bounce back and forth. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Yeah, the Red Bunch. And you guys, I mean, obviously, you guys who are watching, let us know what the highlights of your year were. Hopefully, did you guys get a good haul? Like anything you want to share, we'd love to hear about it. I was just saying to Hank earlier before you got here, Andy, I just saw a video from IGN, a big fan of IGN, and they had done every perfect 10 score that they gave out in 2022. It was a very short list,
No
but
doubt.
it reminded me that there are things that came out this year that I forgot came out this year.
A lot came out.
Yeah, that'll happen, especially like, things that came out in January,
Yeah.
February.
Well, that's what I asked you that. I'm like, do you remember what came out in January?
I don't.
No.
I don't remember what came out yesterday.
Okay, I'm going to say this because anybody who knows me personally, you all saw the post I made the other day when the marketing for Maverick came out in 2019, by the way.
Finally.
I had said that was my most anticipated film of the year, scheduled for a 2020 release. Well, not only did it become my most anticipated film of 2020, but it also became my most anticipated film of 2021 and 2022. So yes,
Things got
Maverick was a highlight for my year. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. And it's actually a better sequel to Star Wars than some of the sequels.
I was just going to say that.
There's a great video if you guys haven't seen it. It's called Top Gun Maverick being Star Wars for 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3
straight.
minutes.
And it's pretty great.
No surprise there that it did emulate the whole the
trench run.
Can we say that? The trench run?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
January was the Legend of Vox Machina. That's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's another season coming too. So.
Season 2 is well on the way. Eric, I'm sure you are all over that because that is a big property for you. I think you are the only person I know that has actually watched every episode of Critical Role.
Yeah, I haven't.
That's a lot of hours of
A lot of hours.
Yeah. How many hours is it?
And they got their action figures this year.
They did, and now those
really?
are So McFarlane
McFarlane did them, yeah.
McFarlane
Yeah.
getting a lot of licenses, eh?
Yes, they did.
Which is good because they're animated, which means we were just talking about this earlier. I don't know if it's why they do this, but it's like McFarlane's stuff is still hand painted, or at least it looks like it's hand painted.
It's true.
Like
me.
1,500 hours.
That's dedication right there.
Whoa. Whoa. No wonder you can sit through our stuff.
When McFarlane came back, there was this. They kind of led in a big way, and it was a little late. But the Snyder Cut was the Snyder Cut in 2022. No, that was last year, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness.
No, that's last year. I'm sure it was.
I don't know.
Look that up. But they led. Some of the earliest McFarlane figures were the Justice League movie figures, and I have to say, forgive me, they all look like crap. They all look like absolute crap except for the Darkseid figure, and he was from a deleted scene and CGI'd.
March 2021.
Okay, so yeah, we're well after that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's all crapped out anyway now.
Yeah.
There's no more DCE.
Well, there's rumors that there is a place for Gal Gadot in the James Gunn DC verse.
Will it be as Diana though?
I hope so. She really did well there.
So no secret, some of my favorite DC movie characters are the established Snyder characters.
Yeah.
Batfleck is my favorite on-screen Batman. It's not my favorite on-screen Batman movie.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah. And Henry Cavill is my Superman.
He did well.
Yeah.
Except for that opening, gotta kill him thing, but
And the CG mustache.
Yeah.
But that's not really his fault.
mustache.
No, not at all.
Yeah, looking at you, Paramount. Mission Impossible, wasn't it? It was for Mission
I think so,
Impossible.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
or was it
Oh no, it
The
was
man from-
the man from Uncle.
yeah.
Oh,
The Man from Uncle.
geez,
That's
I
right. That's
wasn't
right.
even aware that they did a remake of that.
So the
Whoa.
man from Uncle is
Yeah, that bad. Eh?
no. You didn't like it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I
But just stuff
very
that I
much
didn't know
liked it.
existed. I found out more this year.
Yeah.
With the exception that Armie Hammer's in it, however you feel about him. If you can overlook that aspect of it, it's a pretty
That's his
cool
real
movie.
name.
Once a hammer, always a hammer. So yeah, Maverick. Now, coming full circle, Maverick,
Maverick.
was a solid 8 out of 10 for me.
Nice.
8 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
Excellent.
What about you guys? You got something memorable from this year? You
Oh,
want to-
Jesus. Everything's Star Wars. I'm not going like sort of off the cuff here, but it was a really good year for Stranger Things. I thought the last season of Stranger. I mean, there's another one apparently in the works, but
Introducing a whole generation of Master of Puppets.
man,
Master.
there's like a 30-hour version of that online now, just a super cut of that.
Nice.
But that was such a strong outing for me. When they put 7, I think it was maybe 2 seasons ago, through that weird goth thing, I thought they're losing their legs a little. It was a really strong outing for me. I mean, you guys all know we all binge watch the Star Wars stuff, and I watch all properties differently now because of that sort of analysis. But I found myself watching Stranger Things like a fan, knowing I didn't have to tear it to pieces or analyze it. So I quite enjoyed relaxing and watching something, as opposed to
having to dissect.
Oh, that guy's left-handed.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was a standout for me this year.
Well, that's an interesting point because that brings up our show. Do you find that it negatively impacts your viewing experience with other properties?
Not negatively. I find it certainly changes it. I'm not aware that I'm watching things differently than I used to until I am. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Last night I was watching with my mom. I was watching A New Hope on Showcase with commercials.
Oh,
and
old school.
In the cantina scene when Obi-Wan pulls the saber out and takes off Pondo Baba's arm, I actually was like, did he just kill Dr. Avazan in that scene? I had to look it up and be reminded that there he is. Come on, Hasbro. Why no magnetic arm, Hasbro?
No. Steve says, Metallica.
But the scene, and so, that's the kind of minutia that Metallica. That's the kind of minutia that I've been watching Star Wars for and with.
Those two guys, yeah. Oh, you know what? That's funny. I was talking about this earlier today. This one, yeah. So it's
Stranger Things was like 80s dream gushing. I love it.
This one doesn't have the flipper hands.
Oh, it doesn't. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but after you'd said that, I went back and watched, and it's like, holy crap! Yeah, on the backswing, Evazan does take a swipe.
He does take a swipe. Canon, Boba Fett kills him outright in the canon comics.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that for a flash second when I was like, holy cow! A thing you've watched 1,000 times, suddenly you go, is that different than I've ever seen it before? And so I think that a function of me analyzing these shows like this is giving me.
What do you mean C-3PO got a silver line?
New eyes. Yeah, right.
You mentioned Henry Cavill. Thoughts on the Superman Witcher controversy? Also, I am so on board for the potential Warhammer 40K project. Yeah. I will happily do a workup for a Warhammer episode if you guys are interested.
Yeah,
that is an interesting prospect. So let's leave that up for a bit, Andy.
Yeah,
let's address the top part of that, the Superman and Witcher thing. So the Witcher thing happened first. Left The Witcher under the pretense that he did not like the writing or the direction.
It was going. Yeah, whether that meant directing per se or just the direction of the.
I just, before I get into the middle part, which is the Superman thing, I'm going to jump to the Warhammer thing because Henry Cavill is doing for Warhammer right now exactly what he did for The Witcher. He actively campaigned for the role. He's a huge fan.
Yes.
I feel like he's doing the same thing all over again.
I don't know how deeply he was involved with Witcher. I know that he was like so pro Witcher that he was instrumental in having it made. I know that he's executive producing this Warhammer project.
Yeah.
I know friends of mine that are disappointed that it's a project on Amazon because they don't have the budget. I mean, well, look at Lord of the Rings though. That thing is changing. That's definitely changing in terms of that.
Yeah.
But any kind of project property story like Warhammer, like that vast, that with that kind of cult following of fans.
So Warhammer is the top selling miniature game in history.
If you guys live in a cave.
I mean, it's been around for what, 20 plus?
Heck yeah.
Easily.
I'm conservative when I say 20 plus because I don't want to do the math on it. But I mean, we all remember when Games Workshop had their own physical stores.
Yes.
Right. So it leaves The Witcher based on the lack of, interest in the direction it's going. And then almost on the heels of that, we get he's back as Superman in the post-credit. Sorry for those of you who haven't seen it.
Saw it.
Okay, so in the post-credit sequence of Black Adam, Superman shows up.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Henry Cavill Superman shows up in the Man of Steel.
Sans mustache.
Right. And so then it's this then he makes this big announcement. I'm back. I've talked to Warner Brothers and DC and everything's good. And then James Gunn comes along and goes, record scratch.
Carpet removed.
And I don't necessarily blame James Gunn. There is a rumor out there from an insider that says that Henry Cavill's inclusion in Black Adam was a power play by Dwayne Johnson to wrestle some more control over the direction of the DCEU. And I kind of think there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Dwayne made the big thing about that's what did you think was going to happen? That's what we're building towards. Like,
Right.
who else can
Right.
go up against Black Adam? Shazam, that's who.
That's who.
But Andy, you and I have talked about this. There is no way Dwayne Johnson will play second fiddle to Chuck.
No.
And I love Chuck and I love Shazam. I think
Right.
it's perfect casting.
Right. And also, it doesn't help that he came out of the gate saying, "Okay, this is going to be this
His
is
version of Black Adam.
right, and it's going to be all brand new, and it's going to be the greatest thing you've ever seen." And I know a lot of actors do that when they're pushing their property, but he oversold in such a big way, and like literally saying that the future of the franchise hinged on his movie. And I know that online people are taking personal shots at him about Henry Cavill now. And I don't know if he had the control that we think he had over that necessarily.
So that's that layer of onion that I would like to peel through. I would like to be the fly on that wall to know, did Henry Cavill leave The Witcher? Do I take him at face value? Or did he leave The Witcher because he was promised something at Warner Brothers and DC? Because if he did, you and I talked about this when we were having lunch today. Is there grounds for a lawsuit for lost income and lost work?
Right. Right.
So
Glenn is saying the show departed from the book lore a fair bit, and Cavill had issues with it, which and that's being so faithful to it. I can see that.
That's the beauty about Henry, is that he's a fan, just like all of us first.
He had said that he did not. He really. The voice that he came up with for Geralt sounds remarkably like, is it the video game voice? David Hayter. Is that right?
Yeah.
Someone will correct me. Yeah. And he's like, I didn't want to do that. He's like, but somehow after playing several hours, it just kind of crept in there, and he just left it in. So
Eric's last comment.
It's hard to. It's hard to take away from that. I know that the series is supposed to be based on the books. By the way, the prequel series just debuted on Netflix yesterday. The one with Michelle Yeoh. Is that right?
Mm-hmm,
I think that's right. Haven't watched it yet, so
Dwayne the Talk Johnson. Yes, Eric. Yes, Eric.
Dwayne the Talk Johnson. That's true.
Because he stretched from the lore.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
There is that. I think his desire to keep to the lore so tightly is what killed The Witcher, but might just be what Warhammer fans want.
I think so. It's got a huge, vast base of books
Rabid
and
fandom.
Oh, a rabid fandom. Like
my introduction to Warhammer was the standalone board game Space Hulk, when it was basically pitched as, "Hey, it's aliens,
right?
Space Marines versus aliens."
Right.
I enjoyed that.
And I've always heard it described, I guess, because I'm not a fan, but I've never take that deep dive into it. But I've had it described as like the next generation's Star Wars, because it has so many of those elements, just like this galactic spanning evil empire kind of situation with warring factions. I'm excited for anything that. First of all, sci-fi. I love fantasy. I love big fan of Henry Cavill. So I'm excited to see where this goes. And there's not enough for me to watch, even though there's too much for me to watch. So I'll watch it all.
Cool. One of my highlights of this year was season 2 of Chucky.
Oh,
if anybody watched that, if you're a horror fan, I know you're not, Wes.
This is not okay. Yeah, well, okay. I considered on this one while I'm looking up the thing I'm trying to find.
Yeah, but speaking of lore and stuff, like they touched on something from all of the previous films.
Nice.
And like Don Mancini's at the helm, right? So he's just pulling all the best bits, and it's folding in quite nicely. Even the crappy ones like Seed of Chucky get their little nod.
Wow.
So,
and they've gone so deep with those too.
Yeah,
so many of them.
I wanted to.
Glenn is saying Warhammer is tons of fun. I love Blood Bowl, which is a Warhammer property, but what matters for the film is the story. Curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I mean,
isn't that the bane of all fans? Like that we want, Lord of the Rings took so many liberties. Where's Tom Bombadil? Here's a question for everybody. Are we unfairly harsh on properties when we love their original source material.
Hey, longtime fans of the show will remember the episode we did back in year 1. It's called Gatekeeping.
That's right.
And I say that tongue in cheek, but it's true. Like, it's something that starts so innocently from a place of love can become a very vitriolic. Overly protective. That's nice. That's a nice way of putting it. You know me.
I agree with that, Glenn, for sure.
It's why so many video game inspired films have been the
Dookie.
It's true.
Yeah, I can't argue with that either. You know, I always take when we had the idea to put the show together to do a podcast, a generalist entertainment show, it was always there's a reason why it's called Fandom Power. And I've always approached our show from the position of we are fans first.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've said this many times, you don't have to tear something down just because you don't like it.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
You can find something you like in everything.
Absolutely.
For me, artistic liberty has been sort of one of the things that keeps things fresh sometimes. Like when everybody was like screaming at their TVs over the ending of Game of Thrones, I was literally clapping and laughing as I was like, you just subverted an entire audience.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
You know, whether it was effective or not, it was different. And I was okay with it. So in a broad sense, I personally don't think I'm that hard. And any hard conversations I would have, I usually just have with you guys privately.
That's really true. That's really true too.
Yeah.
I tend to soften over time as well. I'm hard on a lot of things out of the gate, and I soften.
Mm-hmm.
Eric says Blood Bowl would make a great adult cartoon. Gridiron football with fantasy monster races.
Well, you know,
that sounds fun.
DJ just bought a controlling share. He owns the XFL now. Maybe $7 can make it.
Steve watched Lord of the Rings yesterday.
There it is.
So, Lord of the Rings, that's another property that came out in 2022.
So good.
Speaking of artistic liberties, people are losing their minds because, this isn't what happened in the book. Do you guys know that they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion, so they have to extrapolate
what they can and go with it to make it still fit with what's already done.
And it's not trying to sell itself as something that it isn't. It's an original series. Absolutely. It's an original take. It's just fun to see. I did too. I have a dear friend that can't stand it, won't even watch. It's dropped his Amazon, and I'm like, that's harsh. That's harsh.
The free shipping.
Right. Get back on Prime, bro.
That's how I pitched it to my wife.
That's right.
If we get Amazon Prime, we get video with it too.
And his problems weren't like story based. They were like, he had general, like absolute issues with race and and those are petty. Like it's 2022. That stuff is petty. So like,
I believe that's, what is it? Picking the stuff out of the what?
You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Game of Thrones I was okay with because the darn books haven't come out. So it's not like it was departing from established lore.
Right.
Okay, that is totally fair.
Exactly.
I'm interested to see what happens when
he
finally does.
Rumors are he's got 500 pages left. And I'm like, isn't that half of most novels?
So,
but that's the rumor.
That's the thing I was meant to look up.
That was one of the novels I finished reading this year was Stephen King's 11/22/63.
Okay.
And I just yesterday found out that they actually made it already for Hulu. An 8-part series starring James Franco.
Already?
Yeah, already back in 2016.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. I was like, well, I never heard of it, but
wow,
I'm going to watch it.
Wow.
I thought Dune came out this year, but it didn't actually came out late last year. So, which is unfortunate because I love Dune and I can't wait for the next part in 2023.
That was Dune last year?
It was 2021,
October. Was, yeah.
So it came out in October. So
I didn't see it till this year.
Still been in theaters by January.
Sure. And I mean, it counts for me because I didn't see it till this year when it was streaming. COVID kept me out of theaters. I didn't like wearing a mask and trying to eat popcorn.
A lot of us out of theaters.
And that I'll digress. I'll put that in 2022 to say I was extraordinarily pleased with Dune.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was a heck of a ride.
If you've never read the book, if you're just a fan of the Lynch, sorry, is that right, David Lynch? Not David. Yeah, if
absolutely.
if you're just a fan of if your exposure to Dune, your first exposure was like mine, and it was the Lynch film, then that movie probably has a special place for you.
David Lynch has come out just recently and said he wants to do a fan cut, like a director's cut of Dune. Like a Snyder cut of
his
Dune,
film?
of his Dune.
Oh,
because
I would be down for that.
He said that the studios were handcuffing him about a ton of it, and that it was originally it was supposed to be like a 5-hour film.
I didn't actually read the book until the early 2000s, like the early aughts, and the American Sci-Fi Channel came out with a mini series.
Oh, yes.
So William Hurt played Leto.
Right.
It's closer to the book, but it's still not.
No.
And I mean, if you want, I have it on DVD. I watched it recently, and it doesn't hold up. I mean, the story holds up.
Right.
The visuals don't, but the Villeneuve film is totally the right way to do it. You got to do it over 2 parts.
Yeah.
What blows me away is that only this year did they get the green light to even film part 2.
Right. Yes.
I couldn't believe they committed that much to a movie, to the part 1.
Right. Without having
right. Yeah. So
and if you've ever seen the documentary about the trying to make the original in the 60s, it's a fantastic ride all in itself.
Isn't that oh my god, what's his name? Jadowski's or Judd,
something like that. He's like a
now I'm gonna look that
we're gonna stop and Google things every once in a while.
Just keep talking.
Comment coming in from Eric though. I'm looking at it like this: Lord of the Rings was one of the first stab at professional fan fiction. Fair enough. I look forward to the day we get some more people making new stories with our favorite toys.
So I love that. So who didn't, like all of us, play with our toys and make up totally alternate stories?
Yeah.
Like, when I saw Empire Strikes Back and Yoda said, there is another, immediately that was Boba Fett, and I put a lightsaber in his hand, right? So who doesn't want to see that kind of stuff? And so if we never get to play in those sandboxes, that's the beauty of What If. Every property should have a What If, so you can explore alternate versions of every single property.
Star Wars does have a What If. It's called Infinities, and we did 3 of them.
It's true. It's true. I mean, what if Chucky was a bride of Chucky? Wait a minute. They've already done
it. Was Jodorowsky's Dune,
right,
where they did all the pre-production artwork for
everything.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, the documentary is outstanding.
It's a 2013 documentary. It's an hour and a half. Jodorowsky's Dune. Yeah,
Madman, actually.
Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yeah, Mexican cat.
Or Italian. I don't know.
Well, speaking of novels, my favorite film, Jaws. Jen actually got me the book for Christmas.
Really? Book. This year?
This year.
Oh, fantastic.
So I've never read it, so I'm already on chapter 3. And
I read that book super young, I have to admit. My grandmother had a bunch of books on her shelf. I read all of the Ian Fleming books at about 7. Probably shouldn't have, but what's an octopusy?
Something with a golden gun. I don't know.
But Jaws is outstanding, the novel. And I agree with you. It's probably top 5 for me of films of all time. There's a moment Roy Scheider shares with his son. It's so emotional. It's Spielberg. I mean, you guys have to agree with me that Spielberg was amazing at eliciting these very human moments in these, monster films for all other intents and purposes. But
we're talking about the movie that coined the term summer blockbuster.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Made people afraid to go in the water.
Yeah.
I'm in the swimming pool and I couldn't even get in that. I had to have the back of the pool to me, so I could see around. It's a round pool too. How ridiculous. I was like, what? 8?
And if it wasn't for Jaws, we wouldn't have Sharknado 5.
Deep Blue Sea 3?
Deep Blue Sea. Yeah. Poor Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Should have had a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Then he might have had a chance.
I asked this earlier. Do you guys remember that The Batman came out this year?
I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's on the PVR.
Dude, come over. I'll put it on. We can watch it.
We'll watch it right after we're done here. So that, like you said earlier, Affleck is my favorite on-screen Batman.
Mine too.
The Batman is my favorite Batman movie. Now, there's so many reasons why I like the Keaton movie, right? Smile, you SOB. Yeah. there's so many reasons, like just like my heart has that the key. Like I was like, I don't know, how old was I? 18, 17, 16,
When
something like
Jaws
that.
came out?
No,
Oh,
when
sorry,
the Keaton Batman came out.
89.
Right. So I was a young man, and
I saw that at the Fenland Theater.
exactly. So did I, and I think that there was a huge group of us that probably went.
I remember going to see one of them. I don't know if it was Batman or Batman Returns. I went to the theater in Lindsay, and there was a guy in cosplay there. So it must have been the sequel.
Nice.
It must have been the sequel.
Yeah. So like that definitely has my heart, and Let's Get Nuts. I love Michael Keaton. But finally seeing Batman be the detective that we all read, like the gritty,
the greatest detective in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Yeah.
And I love Jim Carrey. Sorry, Jim. But I love the Riddler as he's my favorite Batman villain. And I threw up in my mouth watching that Joel Schumacher corner. And so no spoilers, but the Riddler is off the chains good. How do you top Heath Ledger's Joker? Watch the Batman.
Fair enough.
Sure.
Yeah, baby.
And Eric says, the novels of a lot of movie need more appreciation. Starship Troopers is a masterpiece.
That's a good call, actually.
Yeah, Jurassic Park has a lot of depth. Yes, it does. Even Michael Bay's Transformer adaptations have books that do a lot better at touching the heartstrings of the old TF.
Absolutely.
Well, if we're gonna talk about novelizations of films, then we have to.
And throws a light.
Oh shit! Did I just kill a light?
I gotta say,
you're okay.
Since you mentioned Starship Troopers, that is the single greatest film going experience of my life, and Wes was there with me for that.
Quite enjoyed that one.
Oh man, that was a good movie live in the theater the first time.
Doogie Howser is a freaking psychic.
This might be the best novelization of a film
of
all time.
Blue 5 standing by.
Nice.
Not a lot of people know is Brian Daly Ghost wrote that sucker.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Glenn says Paul Dano is a hell of an actor.
It's a true story.
Oh, I totally just nerfed the light.
Eric says, would you like to know more? How many are in that franchise now?
Oh, man.
So wait.
Because they did at least 3 live.
One animated that actually brought back Johnny Rico as played by, oh my God, what's his name?
Johnny Rico.
No, the actor who played Johnny Rico.
I know.
Was he ever in anything else? He didn't need to be.
No, but he did.
I can't think of his name now. Isn't that awful?
That's terrible.
I'll Google this one. You guys keep going. We'll take turns not knowing our expertise.
The mobile infantry made me the man I am today.
Yes, it did. Hell, we just referenced that the other day with the Clancy Brown trivia.
Oh, we did too, didn't we? Yeah. There can be only one.
Yeah. Zim got the ball.
SpongeBob. Right.
Casper Van Dyne.
There you go.
Where have you been lately? There, Howie with the win. Excellent, sir.
The animated 90s cartoon was awesome. Oh, so
I was going to speak on that,
Roughnecks,
actually.
The Starship Trooper Chronicles.
That's right.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that one.
But the animated film, there's a computer CGI film that is in the continuity of the live action films.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one I was thinking of where Casper Van Dien came back as
Johnny Rico.
Yeah.
It always made me sad though when Dinah Mayer died.
Oh, who?
Redhead.
Yeah.
She loved him, but he loved Denise
Dizzy.
Richards. Yeah.
Dizzy.
Yeah. We saw some boob there.
Yeah.
Co-ed showers in the military?
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of that.
That's the future right there.
It's the future.
Yeah. How'd we get to Starship Troopers? Oh, wait, novelizations
of
films. Film
We're all
adaptations. Yeah.
Rico's Roughnecks.
2022 entertainment. Wait, is it time for do we need to throw out an interjection right now?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Interjection.
So let's you want to do me a favor, Andy? Can you open up another window? Drag her across so we're not covering everybody up. Go into our
Yeah, I know. I smell what you're cooking.
Yeah. You want to screen share that when you get a minute?
Oh
my God, we are so close.
We got a new fan.
Guys, I know that I've been. I'm going to sound like a broken record. We've been through this many times already, but I have to say, it blew our line out of the water. We can't even use it anymore.
No, we can't.
when we started, we started with we thought we'd do a giveaway. We thought, can we increase our subscriber base?
We were trying to trick you. Let's be honest. we were trying to trick you into liking us more than you already do. And we know that the 5 of you like us a lot.
We'd asked for some help to get us to 100 subscribers. We started at 88 when we made that call.
The drive to 100.
You guys came through in spades and you knocked that out of the park
in less than 24
hours. So somebody is absolutely getting this this clone. Let me get here. Where are you? This clone trooper, this shock trooper.
There he is.
But we said that if we could get to 200 by December 31st, we would give away your General Grievous. Do you see how close we are right now?
Mm-hmm.
We are presently sitting at 189 subscribers.
11 to go.
We are, they're coming in, trickling in a couple a day for the last, we had a huge bump. We've had over 100 subscribers in this period of trying to hit the 200 mark.
It's got to be under a month.
It's not even 30 days. I don't think it's been 30 days.
Right.
No.
And I'm so impressed with everybody that's subscribed. That I don't even care if we go past the 31st. Okay, I'm going to say it now. When we hit 200, even if it's February, don't let it be February. I'm giving the Grievous away anyway. So you guys are amazing. We thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And when you guys interact like you are tonight with us, it's like it's a pleasure. Yeah. And so that's the least we can do to say thank you. Is give away a few baubles.
I was going to say, if you haven't already, do hit that like button on the channel. Find our 100 subscriber contest video. Leave a comment on that video, and you will be entered into the contest
automatically.
We're going to do a spin down counter here at in early January with everybody's name in. We're going to do it as a live video, and the last name standing is gonna win the prize. But if we get that 200, there's gonna be 2 draws.
Mm-hmm.
So
Beautiful.
Do join us for that. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being part of this crazy experience that is not only the audio podcast but YouTube as well. So thank you for that.
You guys are amazing, and it makes it worth being as consistent as we are, and it makes it easier. We love what we do, but it makes it so much easier to love what we do when we know that you guys are enjoying it too.
Yeah. What do you think? Is it time for an unboxing?
Maybe.
Absolutely.
All right.
Eric says, guys, that's wicked impressive. Congrats.
Thank you very much, Eric. You've been with us for a long time. Eric, you've been a guest on the show a couple of times, so thank you for that. And I look forward to working up the next Vox Machina with you come next year. Early next year.
That's flattering, because I know you're a fan of a lot of things, Glenn. So that's really flattering, bro.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Get to 100,
yeah.
You're gonna get to 100 subs. Yes, we are. That's why we changed the icon.
We are.
Yeah.
Changed up the icon.
We did. It's 200 now.
Yeah.
Or 5 if you guys feel, hey,
spread the word.
Throw it down.
So the little
we'll give away a
backstory.
car. Checks will not be honored.
Diecast Hot Wheels. So there's a funny story. We knew that Hank was coming. We knew this a while ago. We didn't say anything about it because we wanted to keep it a secret. And then weather got involved, and we actually thought this was not going to happen. But that being said, we all had the same idea, and we all kind of did Christmas gifts for each other. The problem is that, Andy, you brought the Christmas gift for me over like a week early. And you marked it from Santa, and it went under my Christmas tree. And yesterday morning, we get out of bed, sleep in, get up. Oh, look, there's a million inches of snow on the ground. I'll deal with that later. My wife decides to play Santa for the day, and she's like, oh, here's one for Wes from Santa. And I'm thinking that it's from my stepdaughter, and my stepdaughter is thinking it's from my wife. She puts the box in my hand, and lo and behold, it's the crosshair figure that I showed early, and I realized that, oh no. This is the gift from
To be fair, I've never seen Santa and your stepdaughter in the same place together. Just to be fair.
So that kind of I blunderingly messed that up. So we're not able to do a live gift exchange. However, one of those gifts is yet to be unwrapped, and it's Andy's, and it's your gift from me.
Yeah, and I actually have one for Andy too.
Right,
so Andy gets doubles.
Aw. So what should I start with?
Well, so you choose.
All right.
The airline wouldn't let me wrap it, so
Wow.
you get a GameStop back.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I rip open and I find something Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I resemble that person.
A Star Wars logo light.
So do show everybody that.
I guess
show everybody.
It's for everyone.
No,
Okay.
it's mine.
So, no, we're not a Star Wars show, but guess what?
We might be. Very cool.
We challenge all other properties to keep up with Star Wars and give us more comments. Not a Star Wars gift. Excellent, Eric.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so Andy, I know you've been working on your own recording space at your place. When you are set up and you are good to go, you've got a nice background light for your recording
To
space.
illuminate myself.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Very
Where
cool.
did he just go?
He ran away.
Okay, he ran away. Aw. Well, we'll just we'll segue for a minute until he gets back, because I'm sure we won't. He didn't want you to open his until he's back here.
So wait.
Are we getting spam bots?
We're getting a spam bot here.
Are we getting spam
I don't know
bots?
if it's a spam bot, but they definitely want us to sign up for more chat bots
More chat bots. I don't want chat bots.
because the price is lower than any competitor.
Stupid spam bots.
I don't want to pay for people.
So we also had another holiday kerfuffle.
Well,
First of all, one from my studio.
Magic.
Thanks,
lights.
Wes.
I don't want to say anything, but there might be a third one that's going up
For our non-Star Wars show.
Nice.
So, and in a secondary Santa Claus kerfuffle, also not a Star Wars gift. You are correct. We're on the drive here from the Oshawa GO station to tell you a whole bunch of stuff about our lives. And Wes is telling me the things that his lovely wife Kim got him for Christmas. And he tells me the first thing, which is a lovely item that I forget now. And he tells me the second thing. And the reason I forget what the first thing was, because he tells me that she got him exactly what I got him. So I didn't even say anything in the moment. I'm thinking to myself, what do we do here?
How do I handle
I'm
this?
not sure what's going to happen here. But so we have several of these.
Nice.
And now mine's not doing that yet.
Okay, so but
Yes.
I did open this one,
Yes,
so
sir.
we can take a look at this one.
And on the off chance that my wife gets me this, I will be mailing this to Andy so that we all have one.
Fans of the show, we just reviewed Andor. This is the Cassian Andor and B2 EMO.
Before the shave.
Yeah. Come on now, there we go. Oh, and this is a set that my wife was nervous about buying this because I actually had this in my hand in the store, and I said, I've already got a Cassian.
Its price point was intimidating, not on sale.
I've already got a Cassian. There he is. I already got a Cassian, and it's the face printed one. So do I need this one? And I kind of hinged it on it's pretty expensive for what you get.
Right. It's $40 a figure.
And then I'm like,
edge price, it's $40 a figure.
It's another droid. Do I need another droid? And I'm like, no. And then Rick's Road came out, and I'm like,
And then the droid cried.
And then the
I
droid
need a
cried.
droid.
You will believe a droid can cry.
So yes. Thank you, honey. I love this. And thank you, Hank, because I love you too, man.
Well, I have one now. I love buying my own Christmas
that's
gifts.
great. It's so great.
Well,
you have a bag.
not to be outdone though. Here
Oh
you
my.
go, Hank.
Oh wow. Oh my.
Festive. I didn't go on a plane.
That is festive.
Is this
That
the?
I didn't know if you had this one or
Did
not.
your wife help you with this?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed to say that.
That's okay.
My wrapping sucks.
I wrap with newspaper.
Steve says he saw Santa on my roof.
Mika!
Oh, that's fantastic. That is so good.
Can you see her?
So good.
Oh yes. The
Put it
heart.
over your face.
Oh.
Put it over your face. Now they'll see it.
The heart of the fan batch.
Oh, she's so good.
Yeah, she's a great. And you get her pet and the bowcaster. Oh, thanks, Andy, man.
So I saw, did I tell you guys, I saw somebody use that body and they did a custom young boba.
Yes.
Looks so good.
Nice.
So good.
Oh, that's excellent.
All right, I'll open this one.
And I also did not know whether you had that one.
So this could be, we don't know what this is going to be like.
We're just going to trade things.
Does this work for you? Do you need this
I
one?
got this pair of underwear I was wearing before.
I do not have her.
Excellent.
Okay, that's
Thank
nice.
goodness.
From the What If series, Zombie Scarlet
The
Witch.
most powerful villain in the Marvel universe.
So far, on screen, we've never seen anything like that.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Reality warping powers.
Oh man, and the ability to just destroy giant men.
Your brain.
Oh, scary stuff, man.
Yep.
Scary stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, is that good? We covered the gift exchange
I
part?
think so. We are exchanged. Excellent.
Did you guys notice, anybody watching tonight, do you notice a difference in the appearance of the show?
Other than me.
I mean, besides the fact that we're all here in the same room, do you notice a difference in quality to tonight's video? Let me know. Just let us know. Yes, no, maybe you can't tell. I don't know, whatever. Because I got an amazing Christmas present for my wife this year. Something that I've wanted for a long time. And she bought me a new lens for the camera.
Nice.
Which we are currently using tonight. So anybody who's out there in the YouTube world that does talking head videos, you probably heard of the Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4 prime lens. That is what we are using tonight. So
It makes our talking
my
heads look
God,
spanking good.
you look amazing. Look at this guy.
You can see all my blemishes. I need to see a
I look like I'm
dermatologist.
sitting in a shadow. That's all right though. That's all right. 2022.
2022.
We're
Wakanda
almost
forever.
Wakanda Forever. So I have yet to see.
I saw it. I actually went to the theater and saw it in Lindsay.
Now you've seen it, and now you've seen it. So now I'm the odd one out.
I don't. My mom always used to say, if you can't say anything nice about the editing of a bad film, don't say anything at all.
That's unfortunate.
It falls apart. I don't want to spoil anything
Okay.
because Wes hasn't seen it, but I feel strongly that could have used a different or better editor. No offense to whoever edited it. I didn't memorize their name or their catalog before that.
That's fair.
I also felt kind of like, and maybe wrongly, that because Boseman was such a strong actor, that they surrounded him with a supporting cast that didn't need to do more than support him. And it really showed without him. I didn't feel anybody in that movie was strong enough to carry a whole movie. It was a bit of an ensemble thing. Maybe I'm being hard on it. I'll probably watch it 5 times because I'm that guy anyway and soften on it. But I'll tell you, my movie going experience, after the movie ended, a guy behind me stood up and said, well, it was no Black Adam.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I'm not alone.
I'm at the other end because like that movie brought me to tears multiple times.
Really?
It did. It hit me in the feels like right in the beginning.
I haven't had tears at a Marvel movie since all 3 spiders showed up. And when that thing was unfolding, when the windows were open, I was like, and I'm like, "Argh!"
Yeah, at least 3 times throughout the movie, it kicked you right in the feels.
Really? Okay.
For me, anyway.
Listen, I am not immune to the fact that I am closer to 50 than I am to 40, and that I don't want to blame it on physiology, but I'm not making any more testosterone. How's that?
That fabric softener commercial got me real good.
Oh my God, there's 3 commercials that got me good this year.
Commercials.
2 of them with birds.
Oh, geez.
So I'm so entrenched in streaming, I don't even think about commercials anymore, except for when the Super Bowl's on.
Well, actually, we were searching some on the YouTube there for classic Christmas specials.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Or cartoons.
Yeah.
And there was one that included commercials.
Oh.
And without missing a beat,
Yep.
the Fruity Pebbles Christmas commercial popped right out, and I was singing along with it.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Without missing a beat.
Isn't it amazing what the human brain
It is like,
will
holy
do?
crap,
It's-
that was in there.
It's funny that you say that because a commercial I saw last week brought me to tears.
Isn't that
That's
something?
really funny.
Let's see here.
What's this one?
Glenn says you look like real
You look like real
humans.
humans. Thank you.
Sean says you can see your figures in the background better.
Oh, excellent.
Zach says sharper image.
Thank you very much.
Glenn says Black Adam and Wakanda Forever weren't exciting enough to lure me out of the house.
You should maybe
So,
consider even reading
Glenn,
the books.
Glenn, Black Adam is on Crave right now
It is.
at no extra charge if you have access to Crave. But it's part of the 22 slate of Warner Brothers pictures. So all 22 Warner Brothers films were going to streaming, 40 some days after release?
Right. Yeah. So it's not because it was bad.
I still remember my dad crying at a dog food commercial. Now
No,
I'm
it's true.
him.
Yeah. It's true. So the one that got me is I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's the ET sequel commercial.
Yes.
The ET sequel commercial
Oh,
just
I've
ripped
seen
my
it.
heart out. And maybe part of it was because it's not actually a sequel
there's no
coming
sequel.
out.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
It was just a commercial about here, we're going to rip your heart out. But it ripped my heart out, and I found myself weeping when I saw it. The YouTube
Facebook
ad.
user, what up, Hanklin?
Whoa.
So that sounds like code to me.
I don't know if
You
it
don't know
is.
who that is?
I don't know.
I bet you do.
Hanklin.
Facebook user though.
You think that's-
Facebook user.
We'll find out after.
Reveal yourself
That's
if
right.
you choose to. You can remain anonymous.
Well, now I'm going to find
That's
out.
not what my wife calls me.
YouTube will avoid commercials, but some of them are so good.
You can't say on air what my wife calls me. I love you, baby.
No, will I try?
But yeah,
Thank
that commercial didn't hit me as hard just because the original movie scared the crap out of me.
Which one?
E.T.
Really?
When he runs through the
Okay,
cornfield and
okay,
runs
yeah,
smack
yeah.
dab into him, that scream that he utters is like just something was wrong because I was sitting next to the speaker in the Bob Cajun Arena and I had nightmares for years about that.
The ET.
E.T.
My wife's little baby sister. What up, Shay? What's going on, Vile? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Yeah, she's terrified to this day. I don't know, she's 25 or something now. Terrified of that movie from her experience as a little child.
Yeah.
Thinking that E.T. was a monster.
How many monsters eat Reese's Pieces?
I don't know. And the key guys, the keys scared the crap out of her, I think.
I think the thing that really bothered me the most was when they set up the plastic hallway in the house and they kind of sanitized the house. I didn't like that part.
Yeah.
When E.T. was dying.
I mean, Spielberg's so good at character stuff and again evoking emotion.
Check out the Greenie dog bone commercial with the snowman.
Okay.
I have a bag of those
Greenie
for my
dog
dog, and I actually have a bag of those.
What's Eric saying? I pay YouTube to avoid commercials. You know, I think Eric is the only person I know. Eric, you are the only person I know that pays for YouTube Premium.
Is it RedTube or what was it called?
RedTube died.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
now YouTube Premium.
All right.
5
Yeah.
seconds.
I'm surprised it's not YouTube Plus. Everybody's plussing themselves these days.
Paramount Plus.
Discovery Plus.
So that's an interesting thing that happened in 22. The Warner Discovery merger. Right now, if you want to watch Warner pictures, so DC movies, you have to watch it on Crave if you're not using a VPN. So if you want to legitimately legally stream Warner TV, it's part of HBO Max, which is an extension of Crave. This whole new Warner Discovery thing, they said that HBO Max will not survive the merger, and there will be a new all-encompassing streamer.
Right. Well, didn't the original Paramount streaming service fold after weeks?
Well, Paramount
I
Plus
think they're
is
still
gone.
going.
Paramount Plus is gone.
But that's
But
their second kick at the can, I
Is it?
believe.
I don't
can't
know. I
recall
couldn't
what the
tell you
first
that.
one was called. But I had heard that the first one didn't survive weeks.
They have. So here's a new one for all the streamers out there. You've all probably heard of Tubi TV by now.
Totally free.
If you are Tubi TV is one, the Roku channel is another.
Pluto just launched.
So Pluto is a Paramount owned platform, and it is free.
Really?
Yeah, it's free. It's drop in, drop out, just like the Roku channel.
Mhm.
There's some good stuff on it. I found myself watching classic episodes of Mark and Mindy the other night.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be
Nice.
a rush.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'd like to see a Mork and Mando show.
Steve says
E.T. original model sold at auction for $2.7 million.
Ouch.
There was a lot of stuff that sold this year at auction.
Oh, that's true too.
Wasn't Han Solo's blaster one of them?
So there was the Han Solo. Yeah, we did an episode on that.
For
the Han
retarded
Solo
money.
blaster sold. Yeah. Leia's steel bikini just sold this year too.
Even
I
though it's showing a
I
little
do
bit
not
of
own it.
Of course you
the
wouldn't.
prop store.
I'd wear it if I did.
The prop store of London and LA. As you know, we're big fans of stuff.
Stuff and junk.
Adam Savage from Tested has a personal relationship with one of the curators at the prop store. So when there's a major auction coming up where there's a lot of like science fiction memorabilia, he tends to get a sort of behind the scenes access to it, which is
Very
how
cool.
I knew that the Leia bikini was going up for
cool.
sale.
Very
Because
cool.
they got to go and look at it. So
That's a great little channel.
check out the prop store. Check out their website, and check out Adam Savage's Tested YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a great channel.
They test stuff.
Sometimes they do. Yeah.
More often than not.
We didn't see a lot of movies in 22, did you?
I mean, so when I'm streaming things, I'm not always paying attention to what date they were released in.
Okay, so that's
So I've seen a ton of stuff.
I didn't leave the house for a lot of movies.
I went to a few.
So I can't remember why. I do remember why now. I joined Scene Plus this year, and I joined their subscription service. They have a subscription service, Cineplex Plus or something like that.
Oh, that's right.
So I get a free movie every month, and I also get the ability to buy guest tickets at a reduced rate, and I get 20% off concessions.
Right.
And it's about the price of Netflix a month.
Okay.
And the best thing about it is I haven't gone to a movie since July. So I have August, September, October, November, December, January banked. I have 6 free movie tickets, but I can only use them one at a time. I got that initially because there was supposed to be a theatrical release of the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, that's right.
We forgot to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, that's coming up. We still can talk about that.
And I went through the whole process, signed up, gave them a whole bunch of money, gave them all my ID and information, only to discover that it was like an invite only, and I had missed the window for the email.
Oh, shit.
And didn't see it theatrically, but I did see a few things. I can't even, except for Black Panther, I can't recall. When did No Way Home come out?
It's a 21 film.
Is it a 21 film?
It's a 21 film. Because you know what? I wanted to talk about it, but I'm like, nope, it was in 21.
Yeah.
It was around Christmas of 21, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was late in the year. It was late in the year. What?
Yeah.
Eric's got something going on there. What's he saying? Oh, you guys got Hank out of the house. This is legendary. Not only did we get him out of the house, we got him out of the province.
That's
right. Avatar sequel 15 years late. Okay,
like
so
20 years later.
2009. So 19, 20, so 12 years.
I guess, yeah.
We talked about this a little bit
we
this
did.
week.
We did.
So I said that Avatar was the gold standard. Now, I'm not talking about the sequel. I'm talking about the original.
Mm-hmm.
Avatar was the gold standard of 3D films. And I say was with a very large asterisk. And it continued to be the gold standard of 3D movies up to and including 2014. And I think the reason for that is there is a difference between when you film something in 3D and when you post-convert it. Clearly, not many filmmakers are shooting in 3D, and the post-conversion technology probably is cheaper, faster. But people are saying that
I have a contender for better 3D movie than Avatar.
People are saying that the sequel,
Tintin.
haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it.
It's really good.
Tintin, the child's character?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
Tintin?
that. Yeah, Tintin. I really enjoyed that film in 3D. Actually, it didn't make me want to throw up like I was on a roller coaster for 9 hours. So I rejected Avatar in a large way. Maybe
Pocahontas in space.
Maybe, yeah. Like I loved that movie when it was called Fern Gully. I don't know if you guys any of you are old enough to check that out, so that reference out. But so all I'd heard about for 3 years it was that James Cameron was doing this thing, and this was burgeoning internet sort of, well, it was well underway, but you had to search out hateful comments online. They weren't just like thrown in your face. But a lot of people were saying they couldn't get their properties made because all of Hollywood was invested in putting this thing out. So I thought that's unfair to the rest of Hollywood and those other 100, maybe 200 films that might have come out that year that maybe probably came out the following year anyway. And so I like boycotted it for a while. I don't know why I was trying to be so hardline about it. And then a friend was like, no, please, you have to sit down and watch this. Sit down and watch it. And I watched the first 5 minutes and I went, wow, okay, I was wrong. This is the most brilliant 3D animation I have ever seen. And they were like, this is live action right now. They haven't the part at the beginning with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And I stood up and I left. So I still haven't seen it all, but I will not be watching the sequel.
I will be watching the sequel, and I will probably see it sometime over this holiday period. One, my wife is a huge Avatar fan, and two, I am definitely curious because, as I was saying before, the early reactions to the movie are it has pushed filmmaking the same way that Avatar did back in 2009. So I'm pretty excited to see that aspect of it, even if the story doesn't hold up, which I can't speak to because I haven't seen it yet. But having Korich come back seems weird, and having Sigourney Weaver come back as their child also seems weird. But apparently they've worked it out.
Right.
Wait, don't you mean Dances with Wolves, or was that The Last Samurai? Oh, you mean
insert white savior movie?
White Samurai. Yeah.
My only question is,
I like both of those movies, by the way.
Oh yeah, me too.
I've seen the original. He's an Avatar. He's like
Jake Sully is an Avatar.
Yeah. He's like a alien suit that he's wearing.
Yep.
Why does it have functioning genitalia? So that he has kids in part 2.
That's pretty techie. That's pretty techie.
Why would you ask a question like that? Because now my brain is going to crack. Andy, didn't you do 3D stuff at work?
I did the very basic red, blue analog stuff.
Oh, nice.
Or anaglyph stuff, sorry.
Nice.
We did that in the newspaper there a few years back.
Sticking with the Avatar thing for a second, apparently Kate Winslet now has a Hollywood record as the longest underwater shot holding her breath.
Oh, wow.
At like 7 minutes.
Wow. Because Titanic, when it sank, as the worst movie ever made, I think that maybe I'm pretty hard on that one too. And maybe also, that's what I have my problem with James Cameron might be his transition from Terminator 2
to water to
everything in water.
Well, Eric's got an answer for you there, Wes.
Genetic clone, not custom built, dangly bits or stock parts. That's for
okay. All right. I'll buy that.
I'm not a fan of the movies. They look cool. I just couldn't watch them.
Come on over to my place, Sean. I agree.
So you know what I think the biggest failure of Avatar was?
The name?
The toy line. The toy line.
There's the other beef I had because
the toy line.
A billionaire sued a tiny little Nickelodeon friggin' animation company for a name.
Nickelodeon's not so small.
Well,
Nickelodeon's not that small.
But they're not James Cameron.
Have you ever tried to price a Nickelodeon resort? You know they have Nickelodeon resorts?
I did not know that.
Mucho.
I'm a huge Last Airbender fan.
So Kim and I, when we went to Mexico this year, we actually passed a Nickelodeon resort on the highway, and there's a giant archway, and on top of the arch are like gold statues of like Nickelodeon characters like SpongeBob and
crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crazy. And
they are expensive places to stay. Nickelodeon resorts, everyone, look them up.
Just like Disney.
So I'm a huge fan of that Avatar cartoon.
So I have tried multiple times.
Dave Filoni, and the character building is incredible.
So what I need to do, and I think both of you have told me the same thing, is just skip the first half of the first season.
Sure. Because
episode 1 is so I can't get past it. I can't get past the eyes that go bing, and like the how kidified it is. It's like watching the Clone Wars animated film. Sky Guy.
There is a lot of
Chewie.
The Chewie. I've forgotten about Chewie. There is a lot of the classic anime tropes. It's like the visual language that they speak in. So there is a lot of that.
Is it hand-drawn?
I believe it is hand drawn. Yeah,
I can
by
appreciate
Dave
that. I can
Filoni.
appreciate that. Yeah,
And he drew it with his left hand, so he's
And he took his time on it too.
Dave
look like it.
Filoni for president of the world.
Filoni got a new job in 22, or did he get it in 21?
I think he secretly had it for a while now.
Yeah,
but it came out. It definitely came out that he is the new
So I
chief
think
cook and bottle washer. If you will.
I think for all of us that have been fans of the animated stuff from back in the early aughts, it was kind of funny when the rest of the casual audience were like, "Oh yeah, Filoni and Favreau can run the whole thing." And it's like all of us guys
we've been saying that for years.
Suddenly, all the Jon Favreau fans are like, "Oh, that Jon Favreau guy." I'm like, "Listen, Jon Favreau is a big Star Wars fan, but he doesn't have his finger on the pulse of it like Dave does.
No.
And you can't tell me that there isn't anything that John does without going, hey, Dave.
The
What do you think of
entire
it?
the entire story group
Yeah.
defers to him now. He's studied at the foot of the master, if you will. Right?
Well,
Like,
absolutely.
and
And he refers to George
if you've
as...
ever seen the interview, and I think it might have been at one of the celebrations, where he talks about the importance of Qui-Gon Jinn's death.
Yep.
And what the Duel of the Fates means,
As far
you
as
will
the fate
really
of Anakin.
understand that nobody understands Star Wars
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
he
yeah.
does. And it's a beautiful...
James Cameron likes
Yeah.
water. The Piranha
Sure does.
2.
Piranha 2.
That's his first movie. That's his first big Hollywood movie. Is
Really?
Piranha 2. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Vintage Piranha 2,
Yeah,
not the new
That
one.
was before Terminator?
Like, no, yeah, yeah. Like
Really?
82,
Somewhere
in
83.
there.
Gosh. Was it Piranha 2, The Revenge or something? It's
Yeah.
Toy
ridiculous.
Connections. There he is.
There's Ken. All three of you behind the same camera. Yes!
I just subbed you, my friend.
Yeah, you got a new sub tonight.
Woo!
Let me look this up here.
Yeah, it's the new franchise where
Yeah, not
what's his
the new
face
one.
gets his phallus bit off.
James Cameron, Piranha 2.
Toy Connection says, yes, Qui-Gon's death and how he would have been
1981.
a father figure to Anakin is a turning point.
You got it.
Absolutely.
You got it.
Absolutely.
Possibly the most important moment in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, so
In terms of the Skywalker saga.
81 for Piranha 2.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Terminator was what, 84?
Somewhere around there,
83,
yeah.
83, 84?
Yeah, 83, 84, yeah. Yeah. And then what, 90, 91 for T2? Yeah. No Terminator movie in 22.
No.
Yeah, what was it?
Dark
Gem?
Fate. Dark Fate.
So a
Yeah,
TV
Dark
show
Fate
for a
was
while.
last year.
Sarah Connor
The
Chronicles.
Sarah Connor Chronicles. So that's something I need to catch up on because everybody I talked to says that was a sin to go off the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that it might have been some of the best Terminator stuff since T2.
Nice.
Don't get me wrong. I've found something enjoyable in every Terminator iteration.
I
from the
have
beginning.
too. Like I sort of watched the third and the fourth and the fifth one, kind of like fan fiction almost. Anyway,
I was a huge fan of Salvation, and not just because Christian Bale was in it. I actually thought it was a pretty cool.
I was a
movie.
big fan of his very famous freak out on the set of that movie.
Well, we all heard it.
We all heard it.
Yeah, we all heard it.
Then there was She-Hulk.
Oh my!
Oh, can we talk about She-Hulk?
Sure.
What do you want to say about She-Hulk?
I liked it.
So let's reflect on this as the show, because our initial reaction to the trailer was, "Is this really what we're getting?"
Yeah,
And then we watched it,
yeah.
and it was like,
And the first two episodes were killer.
they were great. They really did hear us. They improved the CGI.
Mhm.
And then the third episode came out,
Mhm.
and we kind of went,
Uh-oh.
"What happened?"
I thought I might have drawn it in my sleep.
You're a She-Hulk comic fan,
I am.
and you are a She-Hulk comic fan,
Absolutely.
and I am not. So for me, the finale. Don't get me wrong, it's fine. Charlie Cox might have been. Oh, do I go there? Do I go
Do it,
there?
do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm already halfway there.
Yeah, do it.
She-Hulk allowed me to understand what all of the Mandalorian fans were feeling during the Book of Boba Fett. That the best episode of the Book of Boba Fett was an episode of The Mandalorian.
I'll give you that.
And to me, the best episode of She-Hulk was an episode of Daredevil.
I really enjoyed the last episode, I have to say, because it
It,
let me know they were self-aware of kind of
Yeah.
what they were doing, even if it wasn't, what I was sort of expecting. I had no problem with the story or the format or anything else. I just thought and maybe I'm thinking someone else's thought here, but I had heard or read somewhere that someone had said, if you can't afford to make a She-Hulk show, don't make a She-Hulk show.
Don't make it. Interesting.
And then I'm always hard on my properties because I'm like, I need you to tell me something. There's got to be a reason for this.
Yeah.
I don't want just like maybe I do want 3 hours of a guy meditating in a cave with a lightsaber. I should take it. Because we said we wanted a Senate movie. And
yeah.
Right.
We got that this year.
We did.
Recently.
We did. And it was wondrous.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what She-Hulk was trying to tell me. I still don't know.
I think it was
what is the bigger, because she's a pretty high tiered character in terms of the Marvel universe, in my opinion.
Did we have this conversation outside of the camera?
I think maybe we did.
Every character that appeared in the 2012 Avengers now has a replacement that's been established in a film or TV series.
Right.
So if nothing else, She-Hulk was to set her up to be on the next iteration of the
And
Avengers.
I've heard they've
scrapped the character.
Well, really?
That's what I've heard.
Oh.
Which is unfortunate.
There was parts of it that I thought were really good. I really loved the self-awareness of the finale. I really liked the light version of Matt Murdock, the very acrobatic. I thought his fighting was incredible. I knew that if we brought Daredevil into the Disney sort of Marvel universe, that we weren't going to get what we got with Netflix.
So
There's no way Netflix could pull off beating a man to death with your bare hands. Disney. I don't believe they could do that. And I loved me some Daredevil. Oh man.
Charlie Cox just said in an interview in the last week or so that the Daredevil series, Daredevil Reborn, will be a darker series, but it is not a continuation of what we saw on Netflix. It will be a new show, and it won't be that dark.
Right.
But it will be tonally darker than what we've seen before.
Certainly. And I found, and you guys didn't enjoy Moon Knight like I did too. So, we all have different sort of opinions. I enjoyed the crap out of Moon Knight. Actually, was that this year?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed the crap out of Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac. Can you win an Academy Award for a TV show? Because he was brilliant in that show.
You win an Emmy.
Right.
Get the Emmy.
Brilliant. The way, the small things about his personality switches and that, unbelievable acting. And I know it was a character piece, and I know that your beef was there wasn't enough superheroing kind of action.
Maybe that's just my lack of understanding of the character.
Yeah, he's always been sort of like Batman's, little cousin kind of,
right? Yeah,
technically. Yeah. I really liked that show. I liked the way that their Disney is pushing. And we can segue into this too, the way that Disney is pushing different ethnicities as leading characters, because it's been Hollywood's problem since the beginning.
I know Eric's going to get in on this one.
And so I have to tell you guys, I really liked Miss Marvel.
There you go. There it is.
I really liked Kamala Khan.
Eric, I know you've got some thoughts on this. I really.
Or that role was made for her.
Yeah.
I was a little bit late watching it, but when I finally sat down and did watch it, I was like, why is everybody complaining about the changing of her powers? I think this is great. She's great. The character's great. The actress is great.
I know why they changed her powers, because we haven't met Mr. Fantastic in any real way.
Yeah.
And they don't want to subvert that. I get that. And she's not so entrenched in the Marvel universe that they couldn't tweak her anyway for.
I think setting her up to be part of this, the Marvels with
Brie Larson's
Captain Marvel and Photon.
Yep.
Having her powers be similar makes sense for the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the same time,
she still has
this
stars.
This is her first outing with her power. She's still got loads to learn. So who's going to say that it's going to always be these chunky little light projections? She's going to get more control, and it will smooth out.
Yeah, and we still don't know really anything about the bracelet. So is that a conduit? What is that?
Yeah. Fantastic.
And just using that as a little drop in to say, "Oh, hey, you're a mutant."
That
and
for me,
that was probably the meatiest part of the thing. There you go, confirmed mutants in the MCU.
So there we go, guys. 2022, we got some Logan action.
Hey, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Man.
Okay, Ryan.
Kind of excited about that.
I did like that.
And what about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
Well, so I went to Multiverse of Madness. I enjoyed the film. It was
A bit Sam Raimi-ish.
It's very Raimi-ish. There's no doubt, no question about that.
Influence hard.
Maybe it's, again, I expected more.
Yeah.
Coming off of WandaVision, which I really enjoyed, and I know that you were a late converter. I wanted there to be more. Like Wanda, they took everything from the last episode of WandaVision and they went, she learned nothing.
Yeah.
She actually regressed.
So, like, I kind of had to get in my head and go, I interpret that as that's the power of that evil book is so powerful that it
corrupts absolutely.
That it undid her.
Yeah. Are we blaming that on the Darkhold?
Yeah, like,
we are.
Like I mean, I have to if I'm going to move forward with these Marvel movies.
Otherwise, you'll just hate.
But
the
the real problem isn't the characters or the story or the movies. It's that we're going too big,
too quick,
and we're falling apart in the third act. And we've done it 5 movies in a row.
Yeah,
and not controversially. Spider-Man No Way Home falls apart in the third act.
Oh, I loved
it. The Doctor Strange movie falls apart in the third act. Eternals fell apart in the first half of the first act, but it really falls apart in the third act. And I think that Marvel has a third act problem.
Maybe.
Because it feels to me like we've spent 2.5 hours going at a pretty decent pace to get to this thing. And now the audience isn't going to sit here much longer. We got to wrap this up in half an hour. And I feel like the last 5 Marvel movies have done that to me. We've got to rapidly wrap this up at a breakneck pace. And it's over? What just happened?
The formula has become, it's almost like.
So after 30 movies, that's going to happen for sure.
The formula is getting old.
And you've got Scorsese and also Quentin Tarantino just tearing these movies new arseholes. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I definitely don't agree with them.
Because they are making billions at the box office.
I don't even,
and that's got to be the end game for. But that's for
it is for the studio,
right?
It is for
right.
The studio.
That's why they're getting made, right?
Sure.
And the fatigue that people say that was setting in with Star Wars has to be bullshit because it's not setting in with the Marvel movies in terms of the fandom.
Right. Oh, you're right.
I'm having a problem with Phase 4, but that's personal.
Yeah,
and I'm really looking forward to some of these Phase 5 things. I'm here. I need me some Fantastic Four.
We all
real
I think we're all anxiously anticipating the return of the X-Men.
Yeah,
the modern superhero movie owes a lot to the 2000 X-Men film, and we all want to know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and I think if your end game is going to be something like Secret Wars, you really need everybody in the Marvel universe on the same page.
Yeah.
And I really think if Sony is listening to us right now,
play nice, Sony.
Stop your crap.
Yeah, I mean, because with Sony and the Sony universe of Marvel characters, did I get that right?
I think so.
That
it's a little long-winded, don't you think?
Those film rights still tie up something like 600 characters that the MCU cannot use.
Yeah,
basically Spider-Verse.
It's crazy.
Right.
I mean, and there has been negotiations that things have softened because that's the only reason we got Chitauri is because we couldn't use Skrulls originally.
Right. So, I mean, anybody who saw New Mutants.
New Mutants was brilliant,
so New Mutants was actually supposed to be, the villains were supposed to be Skrull, but because Skrull were showing up in Captain Marvel, which came out around the same time, you get where I'm going.
If you've never seen the New Mutants movie, if you're a horror fan, it's dipped in horror for sure.
I don't do horror, and I think it might actually be the.
And if you're a fan
top
of the
three Fox superhero movies, for sure.
It's got to be up there for me. And if you're a fan of the Walt Simonson and the John Byrne run, it's the Spirit Bear story. It's stellar, actually.
Got one coming in from Eric.
Great casting. My objection about the powers is that making the energy constructs is the same tech for stretchy powers. I feel it's just a lazy choice to avoid having to work out the jank.
But do you agree that maybe it would undermine Reed Richards?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm just asking that of Eric, actually.
Not that we can answer for him.
No.
But anything other than that.
I think that's the choice. I honestly think that was the choice. Because she is,
it totally makes sense.
Very derivative,
right?
Yeah.
Well, especially considering the Flash got to elongated man first, right? So
there's another one.
Not only
That
have you
guy
already
canceled
had-
himself.
yeah,
Plastic Man. Yeah. Why did we do Elongated Man? Could we not do Plastic Man? Wasn't Plastic Man part of the Justice League at one time?
yeah,
It was on the Super Friends. Totally
understand it. He disagrees.
Yeah.
And you were wrong.
At the end of the day, I'm more of a Reed Richards fan than a Kamala Khan fan. If they give Reed Richards glowing, stretchy arms, I'm out.
They won't though.
No, they won't.
We've already seen that.
No, yeah, absolutely.
What about all the memes that came out of this year about? You've seen it a couple different ways. Spider-Man in the multiverse, 3 different actors. Doctor Strange in the multiverse, and it's the same.
Yes, yeah.
How do you feel about that kind of stuff?
I know why they did it, to tug at our heartstrings.
Would you? I said after seeing Doctor Strange that the Illuminati sequence is the high point of the film.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would agree.
all the stuff in that, I can't remember what number that universe was, but another thing that kind of threw me off was the confirmation that the Marvel MCU is the 616.
Yeah, and not
because I had always thought that the comic universe
was,
maybe I was being too meta,
was the 616.
Was the 616, and that the cinematic universe more closely resembled the
Ultimates.
Right.
I agreed with that too, for sure.
Which we don't really need a rapey Hulk movie, so
no.
That's a scary biz, man.
Mind you, that Old Man Logan was pretty good.
Old Man Logan was serious.
He was pretty good.
Even though Hulk was like, a incest breeding,
yes.
child eating
yes.
Well, there is that. Sticking with the MCU for a minute, everybody see Thor: Love and Thunder?
Yep.
That was the other movie I wasted a ticket on.
So there's overall, I agree with you. Is there some redeemable qualities of the movie? Yes. Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor is pretty cool. She looks great. Valkyrie, still a cool character. Mm-hmm. Did they lean too heavily into the comedy? Yeah, they probably did.
So again, maybe controversially, I felt that they leaned way too heavily in Ragnarok. And I mean, now I watch it again and I'm like, it's not Ragnarok. The Planet Hulk one.
Ragnarok.
Is it Ragnarok?
That's right. Yeah,
that's how disjointed I am. Yeah. I felt like, so my Thor, unfortunately, and again, like gatekeeping, right?
Yeah.
My Thor is a self-referencing, speaking in the third person, beer swilling god.
Yeah.
And not at all a comedian.
So I often wonder, like, we all saw it famously with Halle Berry when she was on the press tour for Catwoman, and she did exactly what she was paid to do, and she played the movie up like she was contractually obligated to do. When that contractual obligation was gone and she could speak her mind, she agrees with the rest of us that it was the worst movie
did it for
her career. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, in a softer, but I believe similar fashion, has come out to say that if he should be lucky enough to play Thor again, it would have to be a different version of Thor. And I wonder if that's Chris Hemsworth's way of saying, we didn't get it right. We didn't get it right in this one.
Yeah.
Were they maybe leaning too heavily because of the What If episode where it was just Party Boy Thor?
I never actually connected that, but now that you bring that up, I kind of wonder if maybe that is the case.
I think I may have talked about this on air before. I think that the success of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie pushed the Marvel universe in a totally different direction. Because what was the movie right before that? Civil War.
The first Guardians?
Civil War was so intense and dark and brooding and wonderful.
Yeah, might as well have been just Avengers 3.
And I think that the decision to push all the movies into that lighthearted comedic,
right,
at least to infuse like almost too many elements, because all the other movies, like even the Joss Whedon stuff, they had the when Hulk punches Thor, the ragdolls.
Oh yeah.
There's little moments that work, but I just think.
Yeah, they're comedic, but they're not played for.
You want to make an MCU comedy movie? Let's have a Speedball movie.
There he is, right there. Speedball. Love that guy. As long as he doesn't do penance.
So right,
yeah.
and also like Spider-Man, like at least the way certain writers used to write him. When I'm reading the comics, I would laugh out loud at some of the stuff he quipped about.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I've never, except for maybe Andrew Garfield's, "Oh no, not a small knife."
Oh, that was great.
Right?
That was
like
great.
that's one of my favorite
Peter
Spidey
Parker's
lines.
supposed to do.
Right.
He's supposed
And
to do
Deadpool makes me laugh.
Hanks on point about Guardians 1.
Yeah, man. And so it's got its place, but I think they've dipped them all in that now.
Sticking with the Thor thing for a minute, because we're talking about Hemsworth. I did say that there's some redeemable, and you said yes, there were some redeemable things. One of the redeemable things that I want to mention in that movie that nobody talked about, and we didn't even talk about it. We talked about it ourselves, but like, y'all missed the part where he is the Odin's son. Like everybody was like, "Oh, look, now they're all just little Thors." That's the Odin's son granting that power to all of those kids.
That's actually my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, so even though that was kind of like, oh, and it's also played for comedy temporarily, will we get that version of Thor, the Odin's son, the broken, not all there,
Maybe.
Yeah. I love that.
I quite enjoyed that we finally got an accurate depiction on screen of eternity.
I like that too.
And he's just sitting there, all chill, like leader of the universe.
I do love the Easter eggs and everything. I love to see the tertiary things, the things that are so rare in the comics pop up. Especially for kids who didn't grow up with the comics to get dipped in all that stuff and maybe want to do some research and check out the past because I mean,
I feel like we're talking about Guardians. I feel like I'm the only one over here going, these aren't the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought that the first time I saw the movie, but then...
Where's Martin X? Where's Charlie 27?
It's true. It's true. It's very true.
How about that Christmas special, though?
Yeah.
Okay, I like the Christmas special.
Awesome.
Not just because it's a cool Christmas special, but because it is a solid entry in the Guardians franchise.
No, I have to... Yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
Palm Clementif really comes to life in it, though.
She does, yeah.
Mantis really takes the lead.
So I went to her panel at Niagara Falls Comic Con a couple years ago, and she's French, Parisian French, and English is not her first language. So, and that really came across in her panel because there was a lot of stuttering and a lot of I don't think she understood what the questions were because of the language barrier. But you don't get any of that in her performance.
No.
It's probably
acting.
Yeah. Straczynski 2000's run of Thor was my fave. Hot take, even more so than the classic Simonson run.
Oh, I love me some Walt Simonson though. But that's some good stuff. I get snobby too. Like I'm a comic nerd and a comic snob.
No.
And I'm a movie nerd. And I feel like everything peaked in the 80s. Like everything. Like maybe we died in the 90s and this is all a fever dream.
You know that some of my favorite comic runs that I would like to see adapted. I've said this before. Age of Apocalypse done properly, obviously.
Man.
But then the other big one for me was Extinction Agenda.
So along those lines, we've had so many kicks at the can at the Dark Phoenix now that I don't think we'll ever get it properly. No,
maybe
we've taken too many swings at the bat.
Yeah,
but that
might have been the best one.
That run, along with maybe the Dark Knight Returns, are probably like my two seminal comic runs.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I'd have to say.
Right.
I'll go out on a crazy limb for a comic property I would like to see as a movie: The Light and Darkness War.
I don't know if I read that.
It's Vietnam vets get sucked into a future alien.
Oh wow!
I couldn't even begin to describe it. But if you read it out there, we'll throw up a link later. It's fantastic.
Well, something else in 22. Talking about comic adaptations or other adaptations or things we'd like to see developed into films. The live action Robotech film got some traction. Not a lot, just enough to keep longtime fans baited to go, not again.
Tobey Maguire, why are you doing this to
me? He's long disassociated.
Yeah,
he's long gone. It was supposed to be Andy Muschietti, but he's backed out of it now, and it's now somebody else.
I'll do it. Just give me the money. I'll do it.
I'll just be a guy in the corner. Here's the funny thing. The MCU was built on the backs of characters that nobody was willing to buy when Marvel sold off the rights to save the company.
I agree with that.
These were the B and C tier characters back at the turn of the century.
I actually agree with that. Not wholesale, but I do agree that
the MCU saved the company.
Yeah, they went bankrupt. They were owned by Revlon, of all things.
Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah, the MCU did absolutely save the company.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't sure that Iron Man could carry a movie franchise, let alone a single film.
Single film, yeah.
And when I saw that, I have to say, and I still say, that's probably the best movie at that point that I had seen in 10 years. In like
the first
decade.
Iron Man was fantastic.
Like,
it's still.
I mean, aside from being like a commercial for the
car.
No, a commercial for the U.S. Air Force.
Oh, that too.
It's like a recruitment video almost.
Every Iron Man, and in fact, the Avengers to some degree, always showcased a car.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's
true. The Acura, the new Integra.
That's
not the Integra. The oh my God, what is it called? The new NSX debuted in an Iron Man film. I prefer Miller's Year One over TKDR. Dark Knight Returns got Batman back out of the campy era, but I liked Year One more. It's basically a Jim Gordon origin too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that stuff. Just that Frank Miller gritty just really grabbed me when I was young.
Yeah, even Iron Man, arguably the biggest character in the MCU, was a
absolutely just character. What I said. Absolutely agree.
And just when they started to lean into the stuff that you really wanted to see, they Disney and they backed away from it. We never did get the full exploration of Tony's demons. Right.
And he was moderately drunk, but it was kind of campy and fun drunk. You know what I mean? Right. The same way we may get a disgustingly drunk Daredevil who turns to God.
Yeah, really.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's absolutely. And it was like they would take away an Iron Man title and give Spidey 3 more.
Yeah.
There's time in the 2000s when I would put the Fantastic Four in that B class as well.
Yeah.
Because like what Eric said there in that one comment about Cap was a Silver Age mainstay, Iron Man as well. All those, Giant Man, if you want.
Iron Man didn't. It was Downey and Favreau did all the work.
Yeah, but I mean,
potato.
Yeah.
If that was
their child.
If
that was a War Machine movie, it might not have played well.
I
don't know. Like,
remember, maybe do you guys remember that Iron Man was actually released as a Paramount film?
Really?
Yeah. The first couple movies of the MCU, Iron Man, Iron Man 2 were Paramount films. You remember that?
Oh, we have 3 differing Batman opinions, and they're all so good. There are arguments for all 3.
Killing Joke. Wow.
Yeah.
So you are definitely talking about the comic version, not the animated version. Because
it's a little bit.
Yeah.
I went to the one night only theatrical release of Killing Joke.
Really?
Yes, I did. I'm like, oh my God, this is getting a theatrical release. I'm buying tickets. Kim and I go to see it, and I think there was 4 people in the movie theater. And when the thing that should not have happened, I was like, that is going to make a lot of people angry.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm one of them.
You think they kill Robin outright like that, Eric, in a movie? You think?
I want to see Death in the Family.
Have we had a decent Robin yet? Have we had a really good Robin?
I would say Titans has done a great depiction of
sorry,
Dick Grayson.
Titans.
Sure, Titans is okay.
Titans is good.
I don't know if I don't know where I'm at with that, because I like the Dick Grayson character on Titans, but he's not the Dick Grayson that I associate from the printed page.
Yeah, that's fair.
Teen Titans Go Robin.
Yeah.
There you go.
Titans. I actually really liked, God rest, we lost Kevin Conroy recently.
Yeah.
But I really liked the Tim Drake from the animated series. I really liked him.
Yeah.
They
might just for the clout. Yeah, maybe it's. you do a death in the comics, it draws.
No, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Introduce him and kill him off in the same, weren't we supposed to get a third rock from the sun? Wasn't he supposed to be a Robin?
Joseph
Oh,
Gordon-Levitt,
so
yeah.
that
Gordon-Levitt.
was sort of
at the
a
end of Dark Knight.
Dark Knight thing? Yeah.
Ken says, in my opinion, the best Batman comic story, The Long Halloween.
But we're not a Batman show. Those are all standouts. I mean, I've always joked that if Marvel could do one thing better, that's that they could steal Batman away from DC. He just doesn't fit in with all that other stuff.
So
to me,
I just saw, I'm not a huge Batman fan, but I just saw something that made me go, oh my God. It was a cover and Batman is wearing the helmet. He's wearing Dr. Fate's helmet. So now we've got a character who not only has sat on the Mobius chair, he's now Dr. Fate as well.
Didn't he go through the it's not called the Siege Perilous, that's an X-Men thing, but didn't he go through the eternal waters like Ra's al Ghul as well?
Oh, sure.
Like, isn't he immortal?
Like the Lazarus Pool?
The Lazarus Pool, yeah.
Still, my favorite Batman idea was a fan trailer for Robin Williams as Hugo Strange. That's an interesting one. I don't know if I've seen that.
I'll have to check that in.
Definitely have to look that up. Sean says, killed Superman in the comic again and in the movie role in 1 year.
That's true.
Well, this year was the 30th anniversary of the original death.
Was it?
The black bag.
The black bag. Yeah, actually, I
comic?
saw one for sale recently online.
Well, there's a new one out, and it basically covers all the extra points of view. So, like, what was John Henry Irons doing on the way to see?
Oh, that's interesting.
Or the little kid that actually got saved from
Right.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
It's a great little book. If you haven't read it, go read it.
Interesting. That's almost like, I was just saying, I was watching The Glass Onion last night.
Right.
And there's a whole sequence. You watch the movie up to a certain point, and then it stops, and it runs you through about 6 different points of view of the events you've already seen. Very well done.
Nice.
Glass Onion, very good.
Nice.
Werewolf by Night, guys.
Haven't seen it yet.
Finally seeing that live action man thing.
Haven't seen it yet.
So good.
So I'll be saving
good.
that one because again, it's the horror thing that gets me.
Don't wait until next Halloween.
Okay, I won't do that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see it because Michael Giacchino is the director, and Michael Giacchino I associate as a composer because that's what he is. He did the 2009 Star Trek score, which I think is some of the best music in Star Trek ever, which also sounds an awful lot like the first Doctor Strange soundtrack because he did that too.
Yeah.
So I will see it because I do like Giacchino's musical work. I don't know. R.I.P.D. 2.
Was that?
That's Ryan Reynolds, isn't it?
Was it Ryan Reynolds in the sequel? Really?
Was he in the sequel?
I don't know. That's
I
what I'm
don't think
asking.
he was. So. Did you see it, Eric? Let us know. Because I'm gonna look that up.
Weird fun.
I loved it. So much classic horror movie filming language, like trope, but so excellent. Like the scene where he sorry, spoilers.
That's good. It's all good.
Where the werewolf transforms and all you see is the shadow and the screaming woman. Oh, I loved it.
Yep.
Loved it.
Well, our top
I bet
build cast for RAPD 2, Penelope Mitchell, Carrie Knupp, Jeffrey Donovan,
No Big Lebowski,
Tilly Keeper, Richard Brake, Jake Choi, Richard Fleischman.
Oh my.
Did you recognize any of those names?
Sorry guys, but no.
Although Richard Brake looks familiar to me, but I don't know. Maybe? Does he look familiar to you?
Yes.
He sort of does.
He looks like the brother of the guy that played Bill.
Was he the officer in the
he was in The Mandalorian.
In The Mandalorian.
That's right. The one that shot in the face.
Summarily execute.
In
there
the
you
face.
Go. All right.
Shot him in the face.
Yeah, put him down like a dog.
We've just gone full circle and we've just come back to Star Wars. Can
Obi?
we talk about Obi-Wan?
Let's talk about Obi.
Obi-Wan.
I watched the 2 final episodes on the plane on the way here.
Because not only do I have the standard Obi-Wan release.
Take a hint, wife.
The standard Obi-Wan release.
There you go.
I didn't realize this Obi-Wan is a Target exclusive in the States.
Excellent.
So there they are. There's both Obi-Wans.
Obi-Wan and Obi-2.
Yeah. Yes.
Excellent.
Debunked. Not true.
Not
right?
true.
Yeah,
Not true. Debunked.
Partial.
Debunked. Obi-Wan. We have an affinity for the character, at least.
Like, I think it's all three of our favorite Star Wars
Did
characters.
we all agree that's our favorite?
Yeah,
That's our
I think
character?
so. I think so. And like, I had this like listful sort of feeling for the character after the original series.
Yeah.
And then I get to see him at like, as a peer in the prequels.
Episode 6 was a bit too long. Oh, okay. Was that the finale? 6?
Six was the
Yeah,
finale.
6 was the finale.
I could have watched 12 more of those. But I guess for me, the standout thing about that show, like the story was, but the Alec Guinness version though.
So you know what? I love Alec Guinness.
Yes.
I love Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
I mean, if there was a,
you know what? My favorite version of Obi-Wan is the Clone Wars animated version.
I really wanted, and I mean, you know how, I don't want to gush over it, but you know how I lost my mind nuts when the hologram, the wanted poster of Obi-Wan, I'm like, that is the Desert Nomad figure.
Yes.
They used the toy for that.
Love
and then in the gallery episode,
There it is on the desk.
it's on the table. I'm like, oh, they really did use it.
Yeah.
If we could have got, and I'll concede this one to Glenn, if Star Wars was made when what's funny is that Alec Guinness wasn't much older than Ewan is now.
No.
But if we had gotten
Harder life.
if we had gotten like young Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you could
River
take the
Kwai.
Desert Nomad toy and turn that into a live action series,
And you can now.
that's
you
true.
probably
That's
could
true.
now.
We could just like dump a face onto you or me.
I mean, like even Harrison Ford talking about Indy 5 as archival footage rather than face morphing tech.
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
Never had a connection to the original Star Wars. Mando is my king.
Mandalorian. Yeah.
Hey man, that's some strong stuff. There's a moment in A New Hope where Alec Guinness is talking to Mark Hamill, like Obi's talking to Luke, and he asks him about his father, and he does this like, and goes inside himself. And I know that George Lucas didn't even know at that time.
Of course not.
Right? But it's like you can backwards engineer that scene and go, he's got some information there that was not privy to anybody else, because he goes inside himself to find that answer, like an Academy Award winning actor would do.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's such a powerful, tiny moment. Deep fake him. You could do that. But I find that moment for me is kind of what, like, as an adult made me go, this Obi-Wan character is something else.
Yeah.
He has seen some shit.
I think there's this predilection where we all associate it with Ewan as the line. Hello there.
Mm-hmm. But
let's remember that it's Alec Guinness that delivered that line.
Yeah.
To R2-D2.
That's right.
Hello there.
That's right.
And Ewan's delivery of that line is an homage to Alec Guinness, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
He certainly talked about going back and trying to find the voice again because he had lost it. And watched the Clone Wars and rewatched A New Hope to do as best a sort of homage, not necessarily an impression, but an homage. And Obi was so strong to get that fight with Vader two of them that we never knew existed. That we always like that, again, playing with your action figures.
Yeah.
How many duels did they have? They had 90 duels.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that facial scar and that the tonality, like you could set, it was where I went, okay, like, so Mando it's got my heart and I love it. And it's action packed and it's so Star Wars, but I might have to watch it differently again. But when I see the things that they did cinematically with Obi-Wan and then took to the nth degree with Andor, like cinematically, gravitas. There it is.
Gravitas.
Gravitas.
Oh, honestly, this is what fandom power is about for me, picking out the tiny things that make you appreciate the things that much more.
Well,
Thanks, Eric. I think that's
Thank you.
that's an awesome intro. Insight.
And like Mandalorian, going back to you saying,
Yeah.
put that lightsaber in Boba Fett's hand. Now you have Mando with a dark saber.
this is it.
That is true.
This is it.
Well, and we've said that long.
Literally,
before.
Robert Rodriguez playing with his kids with action figures, blocking out how he's going to do that. And I mean, like, oh man,
I'm gonna previs my episode with a toy.
Need that from my creators, bro.
Yeah.
I loved Obi-Wan. I loved watching him. That could have very easily changed a few locations, change up a few details. That could have easily been a Luke Skywalker story. Luke Skywalker reconnecting to the Force the same way that Obi-Wan did. Detractors of the sequels, may lament for something like that. And you know what? Maybe in some alternative way, we might get that in the future. I don't think there's something to, remake the sequels. That's just not going to happen.
That's a silly thought. I mean,
but spinning out of it, the portrayal of little Leia.
She was the highlight of the show. She's the highlight of the show.
Absolutely.
Although follow her along and see where she's at.
I was going to say, and this is a funny thing. This is the one that's come out of it. I even said it today. If Obi-Wan taught us anything, and it didn't, because, and I'll get to that, is that you can survive a catastrophic lightsaber wound multiple times. But it wasn't Reva that taught us that lesson. It was Maul.
Yeah.
So, fans of Star Wars who've been around long enough. Yep, she survived twice.
And Ali Sakura.
Yeah. Ali Sakura. Yeah. Yeah, that's true too, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Obi was a standout. I really enjoyed the. I ended up enjoying Andor for the things that I didn't enjoy in the first couple of episodes, because I was gatekeeping too much, right? I really was, You don't swear in Star Wars, frack it.
Actually, for anybody who hasn't seen that, I loved making that video, by the way. That little, I love the Tony Gilroy put another credit in the swear.
That's right. That's right.
It was so much fun. Listen. No, I'm not even going to say it. You already said it for me. Thank you very much.
So James Kirk beams down to the planet.
Yeah. Oh,
that's all I've
talk
got.
about 2022.
Ooh.
Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Are you? Because I might say it at the same time.
Strange New Worlds is the best Star Trek television series since the 60s.
Pike is my favorite captain.
Absolutely. Yeah, Christopher Pike. 1,000,000 times over Christopher Pike. Yeah. And I was a huge fan of the Bruce Greenwood Christopher Pike.
Sure.
Anson Mount's Christopher Pike is next level.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing too. Want some breakfast? Make you some things.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
I agree.
Fight the Empire. Fight.
For something that spun out of Discovery as a backdoor pilot.
Right.
I did not expect. Again, he hijacked the show. He hijacked Discovery. He had to be Discovery needed a captain. Pike shows up. I'm your guy.
Yes.
But then they launched this thing, and now with season 2, because we have a finite amount of years, because Pike knows his demise.
Right. And very much like Andor.
Right.
Right.
Is Star Trek Strange New Worlds setting up a reboot for the Kirk era Star Trek?
I think they could easily do
segue
it.
right into it. We had George Kirk in season 1, and now we've just had the introduction of Jim Kirk.
Right.
So many exciting things for Star Trek that are happening.
Plug your ears, Glenn. Plug your ears if you haven't seen it yet. It's stellar.
Haven't watched
bro.
Strange New Worlds yet. Sitting
It's
on the drive,
stellar.
waiting to go. Okay,
Do yourself a favor. Stellar.
You and I like the JJ verse, the Kelvin timeline.
I do.
Have you been watching Star Trek Prodigy?
I haven't yet.
So Star Trek Prodigy is set in the Prime universe, but it aesthetically looks like the Kelvin timeline.
Okay.
It's the musical numbers sound like the Kelvin timeline.
Okay. All right.
It's very cool. It is very cool. It is an animated series, so it is meant for a younger audience, but it is unabashedly, wholeheartedly a Star Trek series. And Lower Decks is hilarious.
Evil Janeway makes me happy.
Okay, so there you go. Spoiler, Janeway's in it. 2 times. 2 different ways. She's a war criminal after all. Whose war? What war? Huh?
It's a trek, not a war. And they never visit stars, by the way. Shouldn't it be called Planet Trek?
So you're astronauts in some kind of Star Trek?
I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space.
That's right. Tune in and watch us quote movies all night.
We could do a whole show on that.
There you go.
I will speak to you only in Simpsons quotes from now on.
I bet I'll just sit here in the corner. Oh, that's funny.
Angelico.
Right. Angelico. I don't get the reference.
I'm not sure, Glenn.
Incorrigible, the lot of you.
Okay. I can live with that. Yeah, so we've touched on both stars, Treks and the Wars.
Touched
Treks
the
and the
Marvels.
Wars. We did touch on the Marvels.
We did
haven't.
touch on the
I mean, we
Marvels.
just spent 12,
Some DC
10,
stuff.
10, 3 episodes at one time. So we just spent 9 talking about Andor. And we're still talking about it.
It was good.
It was really good.
As I said in our last episode, I was a champion of this character and of this. You take that back right now.
That was a Simpsons quote.
It was a Simpsons quote.
Oh, okay.
It was.
I can forgive that.
Shoot.
I was a champion of the character long before the series came out, and when they announced it, I said that show, they're making it for me. I don't care if anybody else watches it; they're making it for me, because who wants to watch a movie about the Senate? This guy. I'm actually disappointed we didn't get more of that.
Yeah,
We got enough.
We got enough.
We still have to
It wasn't
see
dry, like it wasn't like a Senate meeting.
No.
It was very entertaining.
All of the things that we thought were going to happen around the Senate didn't happen.
No,
But all the groundwork has been laid for
We
it.
didn't see the Emperor.
Nope.
We didn't see Masameda, but we're pretty sure we heard him in that audio cameo.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe we will see the events on the Senate floor play out that lead her to
Where she needs to be.
to Pop Smoke.
Yeah. Can you know?
Such a that one I knew. Oh my God, where are we at here? We're still in 22. We got any stuff, more stuff we want to open? Oh, I guess I can go back to Obi-Wan for a minute.
Okay.
I don't have it, and I don't even have the thing to show you. I'm getting the new Obi-Wan Force Effects lightsaber. It is a Christmas present, but it's not. It has not arrived yet. It will be arriving this week, so I will definitely.
Pesky
I
Amazon
will do. I will do some video for that one. I think that will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We'll go out in the driveway and film you playing with it. That way you don't hit the roof or nothing.
No.
It's short.
What?
It's the roof is short.
Oh, it is short in here. It is. Yeah, it is short.
Just get you in your Jedi robes and make it a Patreon exclusive.
My bathrobe.
Nice.
My winter boots. Canada in the middle of January.
Yep.
Yeah. So wait. What's next, guys?
What is next?
I think the Bad Batch.
I think it is the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch is coming up. I can't wait for that. I'm so looking forward to where that's going to take us.
Yeah.
The whole Mount Tantus thing has me.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest drops. And it really is like an arrowhead pointed at the Ahsoka show. And
yeah.
I think I had mentioned New Vox
Machina. Is that coming out? When's the drop
Soon,
date for that? It's oh man.
Did you see the thing that they did in, I think, Vader issue 15, where he's like gonna destroy the Emperor? And spoiler, sorry, he goes Days Gall and he goes through a bunch of.
He kills the
clone
Eye of
tanks.
the Webbish Bog on Mustafar.
Yeah, but apparently, I guess it answers the question of where Snoke came from.
Right.
And he's a suffering clone in this tube, just suffering away, getting his spirit broke so he can be the right puppet.
That's right. Yeah.
So clone
What's this thing here? This is Collider.
clone stuff is not far off the mark.
No, especially when we're dealing with the whole Grogu stuff, and
Stealing his blood.
it's in January, saying.
Can we talk about the Mandalorian season,
February 23rd?
the trailer? Can we talk about the trailer for a minute?
Let's talk
You
about
guys
it.
have seen the trailer, right?
More times than I care to admit.
Did either of you notice that there is at some point during the trailer there is a retrofit of the N1?
To put the droid back in the socket.
Yeah,
It's R5D4.
it is R5. It looks like R5.
It's definitely R5D4.
That droid is just it's just elevated in my
you guys,
head.
Do you remember in Legends that he's force sensitive?
Force sensitive, yeah.
That actually
blow his motivator on purpose.
to put, rather than saying R2's force sensitive, which I have a theory about.
Maybe they're all force sensitive.
Well, so there's a Legends. I can't even remember what it's called, but there's Legends droids that are imbued with kyber crystals.
Oh.
And
I
they
think I know this.
fight. They fought in the
Yeah,
Clone Wars, and they
yeah,
fight
yeah,
even
yeah,
into
yeah.
the Rebellion era. And my thought was, what if R2 was powered by one of those crystals? There's so many moments, and I won't get into it. I should do an actual video on it. But
yeah.
there's so many moments when he exhibits Force-like abilities or intuition beyond that of a even
droid, yeah.
or even a sentient being, if you will.
That's true.
Maybe
Eric,
that's why Luthen's ship had such a brain on it.
Mm.
The Kyber power brain.
that we can talk about. Vox Machina season 2, according to Collider, is set to drop January 20th. So the Bad Batch is somewhere around that. Yes, no.
Gen 4, I think. Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch season 2.
Eric says machine intelligence evolving into a spiritual power is a good trope.
It's true. True story.
Doesn't tell me why.
AI evolution.
We just talked about AI art today.
Oh,
That's a scary looking thing. It's awful. It's awful.
is.
The world needs more artists. Guys, pick
Yeah.
up a pencil, a brush, a crayon. I don't care. Just
you
do
cannot.
I can draw hands better than AI art,
something. Even I can do that.
AI,
but
art
it's
is
scary.
left.
It's scary. It's I don't want to get into conspiracy stuff, but it's scary. Can I come up with a more human thing that we do that's art? Then it is art. Like that. Like if I had met an alien race and they said, like, give me something exclusively human, I don't know if I could go with math, and I feel like fill a gap in what though, Eric?
There is no gap that needs filling.
All humans can create art. I don't believe there's any special skill required at all,
think
but I
people
believe
are
it's an
overreacting.
intrinsically human.
They are not
thing.
overreacting.
No, because
People
they're
are not
building these
overreacting.
databases
Yeah.
over stolen art
That's right.
that has not been, there's
I
no
feel very
copyright
strongly about that
given.
one. I feel very, very strongly
Because
about that one.
The program doesn't care. It just goes out in the internet and says, I'll take that, that, and that.
yeah,
that.
and these companies are getting away with it. I
Yeah.
mean, we saw that one. I'm a huge fan of Todd Lockwood.
There we go.
Yeah.
And Todd Lockwood had reposted from another artist who actually posted an AI generated piece that actually had the artist's mangled signature in the
piece.
Yeah, and it's like, that's fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
But there's again, now we're splitting hairs, and I don't want to split hairs, because to me, this is I'll say it again. The world needs more artists.
Mhm.
Okay. The world needs more artists.
If we
And
could stop it at being a tool, I would be okay with it, but I don't know.
you can't.
The
You can't.
more you
It's out of
feed
the
it,
box.
the more it's going to learn.
It's out of the box.
You're right. It's out of the
Glenn
box.
said earlier at working in AI, and that there's been a lot of interesting conversations around the office, and I'm sure that there is some major insights there that we aren't even thinking of.
No, true.
We need time to pass. Songs from previous decades still stand up because they were created by humans. So I was actually going to draw the parallel.
I really
because
hope that's true, Glenn.
So
I like to agree with that, but I hope it's super true. Yeah.
I'm like this old school rocker guy, and when hip hop came along and sampling came along, I was very resistant to it because I didn't understand it. For years and years and years, I used to say making music with the computer doesn't count because you're not playing your own instruments, but that's not true anymore.
No,
That's just not true.
it's not true.
So there is a hair to be split
I'm
on
super
the
been a
AI
champion
art
of that
thing,
for
right?
sure.
Right.
And so it's like a fantasy thing. Like imagine that John Bonham could be your drummer. and that Dizzy Gillespie could play trumpet for you, and that Ella Fitzgerald could sing a hook on your songs.
Yeah, and we could do that.
Right.
We could get a computer to do that for us.
No, true enough. But the amount of work it takes to make it happen physically.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So, like, I mean,
we're gonna have a fist fight.
We're not gonna have a fist fight. And let me frame it. Let me frame it in the context of our show. I had no idea how much work goes into producing a podcast or producing a video show until we started doing it. And I do consider what we do on our show as a form of art.
Yes.
So
I agree.
I certainly appreciate
and I wouldn't want to be stolen from.
No,
although,
exactly.
I mean, the first time it happened, we might think it's flattering.
Yeah, until there's other things involved.
And I think it becomes a problem when it affects the stealee.
Yeah.
Financially.
Sure, if that's your and especially for artists who make a living from their art.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean the art
that's been the biggest horror story. Right?
This form of art, in its current form, is still very much at the hobby stage.
Agreed.
Even though we take it very seriously, we don't make any money from the show. Would we like it to? Sure, we would. But I agree. If we were being stolen from, we would be upset about it.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to intent in the end. Dark motives make dark results. So that's pretty true. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've read online like very vocal, supportive people, and they're not coming from a dark motive. No. At least they don't think they're coming from a dark motive.
And I don't know that the average user who's on TikTok and goes, "Oh, this AI can make my face look like an anime character," has any intention of like
diving into how it actually does it.
I think
or is going to produce that art and keep, and engender like a
build a database.
I think that we're talking. We are addressing
is it any different from
crowd?
Well, possibly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody who's an artist, automatically, all the artists that are watching probably are going, "Yeah, they know."
Mm-hmm.
The general, like you say, the Sky didn't seem like a good idea.
Men like you.
The TikTokers of the world who don't necessarily have a background or have any interest or understanding of what it takes to be a visual or graphic artist see it, as you say, as a tool that makes fun pictures.
How do you fall on something like an elephant painting a picture and selling for $12 million?
Well, there's
the elephant did it though.
The elephant did do it.
The elephant picked up the brush.
The elephant did do it.
And that's the other thing, right? Like all these fantasy artists that are legitimately doing it, they've been picking up that brush for years and mastering that craft.
Yeah.
Whereas your AI is like, okay, I'm a master now.
I'm sold. I'm just going to trace stuff from now on.
Why not?
You're a tracer.
But not a skip tracer. As someone with no physical art skills, drawing, etc., but plenty of verbal command, having something draw what I'm thinking is a big deal to me, and that's where I'm coming from. That's fair. You could pay an artist to do exactly that. You could tell the artist, make this for me.
Yeah, verbalize your intent.
So again, does that come, and this isn't a generational thing, does that come down to the need for instant gratification? I can get this now for free.
Yeah.
As opposed to I could pay somebody who has the talent and the skill that's honed a craft over a number of days, weeks, months, years.
And I would raise you that any art that you did do, even not being able to draw, would be personal and valid.
Not with instant results. You're right. So is it the instant gratification that is the appeal? I can have this right now.
I think it is.
I think if you pick up a pencil with the intent to create something and you put a line on a page with a dot above it, I think you've created art.
You have to verbalize or type it for the AI anyway. So again, you could tell that to an artist.
Yeah.
And they could do it for you.
Yeah.
The turnaround time is going to be a little longer, but
that's still one of my most treasured pieces. I have a Spider-Man original sketch by Mark Begley.
I
met him in Aurelia. I went up and I said, I would love a Spider-Man. And he's like, please just don't make me do Venom or Carnage. I've done them all day. Like, not a problem.
Please.
And I got that one hanging on my wall.
Just the Spidey. Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. I think you're right. Wow, I didn't know that about myself. Was that a dig?
Ah, that's okay. That's all right.
It's okay, even if it was.
I could take it. I'm thick-skinned.
Even if it was. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It is 2022. It is a high and a low of the year.
It
We're
is.
still in 2020. For real. For real what? You didn't know what about yourself?
That he was an artist.
Anybody can be an artist.
And I agree.
Absolutely.
It's
Anybody
such
can be an
an
artist.
intrinsically human thing that I think that we all have the potential to.
We'd all love to be able to create the pictures and the movies in our minds, but art is also about the work, the process. Absolutely, Glenn. And that's what I was getting at with what we do. I may not be creating something visually, or I am creating something visually.
So this is something that my wife went through at NASCAD, which is like a school about becoming an artist, not necessarily learning how to do art. And she will, and having gone through that for 4 years, she'll tell you that herself. But they have a thing called conceptual art, and you probably know what it is. And it's just the idea.
Yeah,
it has nothing. It doesn't have to go any.
Don't put
further.
it on any medium.
So I was sitting on a lecture where they were discussing conceptual art, and I was like, "Am I allowed to put my hand up and talk to this class of young people and stuff?" And I said, "I have an idea. I have a conceptual art program or idea.
Yeah.
And is it valid or not? I'd like to know. I would like to go to the top of Mount Everest.
Yep.
And shovel 1 foot of snow off the very peak
to make it
and then change the sign. Is that art? And my argument is it's not art until I do it.
Until you do it.
It's not art until I do it. I'm going to paint the entire city of Cleveland brown.
Yeah.
It's not a thing until I pick up a paintbrush.
That's interesting.
And put a stroke on a building.
So Eric, that I suffer from the impatience of my generation. Okay, so yeah, and I mean, again,
self-awareness is a huge leap forward, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? I think to some degree, and I maybe guilty is the wrong word. Suffer is the wrong word. There are certain things in my life that I'm very much in the same camp. I mean, when I want the thing, I want it now. How do I
Simpsons
get it?
reference. Well, I got a deep fryer that'll flash fry a buffalo in 5 seconds. But I want it now.
So yeah, it's interesting, you know, like there's a lot of angles to look at when we're talking about the AI art thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think gratification is one of them, because that is by hook or by crook, that is kind of the world we live in.
And I don't know if it's necessarily a younger generation. I think it's a function of being bombarded with so much material so rapidly that your mind has to adapt to that.
Is it the Amazon effect? Like, I can get it right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, even the Christmas specials this year, right?
I was just going to say, the Santa Clauses. Have you seen the Santa Clauses?
I haven't seen it all yet.
Okay. So the Amazon thing, that's totally referenced in. Yeah.
Yeah, but like we're still on satellite, so we're going through channel to channel looking for our specials, and some of them just weren't there.
They weren't there this year,
or like it was only airing once, but the rest of the time you see adverts on AMC or something saying, "Oh, we got it streaming all month exclusively," and it's like you're not going to find it on CBC or whatever. You got to go to this streaming service to get it.
Yeah, that's a big deal, right? Rights issues are a bit. What's the question? There's a question there. That one. What was the movie back in the day about that art isn't art until you do it? Maybe an Eric Bogosian.
I'll check it out later if I can find it. We'll throw a link up. But I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and everybody, I got to say that everybody in that class, and the instructor included, looked at me like I had 2 heads.
That's fair. Kids' aversion to boredom is a terrifying thing to behold. Yeah. You know, from a human development perspective, and I mean, I haven't had a formal education in it, but I did take a human development course when I went back to college in 2014, and they were talking about the kids of today. You know, we make fun about the younger generation, but like,
get off my lawn.
The truth is that a kid sitting in a classroom today is exposed to exponentially more information than you or I ever were.
And the same is true for us compared to our grandparents.
Yeah.
Because if you just consider, the number of street signs,
the
number of billboards, like just that alone, we were actually just taking in more information than they ever did.
Yep.
I would probably raise you that they read more than we do. But,
right, but I mean, there's their sources of entertainment were a lot less.
And I think that the more information that you pack in there rapidly, it's going to take away from your long-term absorption of that.
Well, listen, I mean, how many phone numbers do you remember?
We're not a psychology show.
How many phone numbers do you remember?
Right, 298.
I know my own phone number. I know my childhood phone number.
I know my childhood, yes.
I don't
just
know
about to give it out to the world, too.
I couldn't tell you what my phone number was, the last phone number I had as an adult. I know the one I have right now.
No, and this is it. And I have a short sci-fi story in which, and I wrote it like 5 years ago, and maybe I'll throw it up on the Patreon one day. But it's essentially about a man.
Sure.
It's about a society where we've become so engendered to these things that we no longer have a short-term memory at all.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, we don't even have a long-term memory. So when I meet you, a lot like Japanese culture, when I meet you, I go, my name is Hank, pleased to meet you.
Oh, wow.
And when I wake up in the morning, I don't know how to brush my teeth.
I got to look that up.
It tells me how to brush my teeth every morning. It tells me what to eat and where to eat it and how to prepare it.
So it's like the next level of 50 First Dates.
And so then what happens when the power goes out and one man suddenly goes, my name's Steve.
Oh, wow.
Why do I know my name is Steve? Where does that come from? And then it becomes very dangerous to the infrastructure of the world. Surrounding this idea that we don't retain information at all, that the sum total of human knowledge is in this thing. And how many times, guys, have we been guilty tonight of Googling something we didn't know
just tonight
for instant gratification?
I need to know
what I call, and we're going way off the rails now. I call it the eureka moment. Because if you ever gone like, what's that movie? What's that movie? What's that? Oh my God, Jaws. And when you get it, you get a feeling in your body, and everybody knows what it is. And I call it the eureka moment.
Sure, sure.
And it doesn't have to be giant. It can be, but this removes the eureka moment from everybody.
I think it's that, like, I mean, psychologically speaking, I mean, that the adage that the human brain is the world's best computer is still true. Everything that your eyes have ever fallen upon is in there, but it's your ability to recall it. Wow, maybe we should have called it the real total recall. Guilty is the wrong word. Positivity, buddy, is the wrong word.
Well, it's like that Flintstones commercial, right? Hadn't thought about it in 30 years.
Yeah.
And see it 2 seconds and it just snaps right back in there.
Seriously, are you whistling the Carol Burnett theme?
Yeah, I mean,
I am. Where did that come from?
Exactly. Our brains are, man, they're plastic wonderful
things.
Yeah.
Wow, we didn't unbox a whole lot tonight, did we?
No.
We had to show off a couple of things. We got to talk about where the show is going next. We picked up another subscriber, by the way, 189.
Oh, here, let's just refresh this.
Isn't that something? Let's refresh that.
Yep, still 189.
189. So we've picked up another subscriber right now, and I'm pretty excited about that. I can't tell you exactly the Log Driver's Waltz.
Oh my God,
that's ancient. That's ancient, man. Yeah.
Kate McGargle.
We were like,
I'm not sawing the table.
Stop shaking your eyes.
I don't shake them like I used to.
Man, those film board commercials, I think, or cartoons, they were a staple.
Oh yeah.
The dog that the blue dog that the super smart dog that had to look after the baby.
Yes.
I can't remember that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
oh my God,
the hockey sweater one where the French kid had to wear the Maple Leaf sweater and was just vilified by his friends
because he just couldn't,
because he wasn't Rocket Richard.
Yeah. That's right.
The house
hippo.
Right. My wife's still convinced they're real.
Have you seen the 20-year update commercial though?
No.
It's all about questioning reality.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
It's like, remember this? Well, don't.
The house hippo is an indigenous. Remember the hinterland
who's
the hinterland who's who? It is a industrious creature. The Canadian is a regal beaver.
That was like what was it? The last TV show that I remember him in, Lorne Greene's Wild Wilderness.
Oh wow. Mr. Adama himself.
Yeah, Commander Adama.
Body Break with Joanne McLeod.
Oh my God. Body Break.
So they actually did.
They're still going.
Yes, and they were contestants on the Canadian Amazing Race.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they did not win.
But we're not a Segway show.
But we could be, apparently.
Yeah.
This is why they have to keep me in another province, because we will just go off the rails.
Talk about like anything and everything.
This might be our best show yet.
It might be our best unscripted show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Lauren always says that she feels like the energy is better when we're unscripted.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Because you're not.
Because it comes from a genuine place.
Yeah,
That's right.
there's no real agenda.
There's no AI.
There's no
driving
real
it.
agenda. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
That's our only agenda. You don't even have to watch the show. Just hit the friggin' button.
Anybody who
Smash
does
that.
work on
Longest show ever.
no, it's not.
Not even
No,
close.
it's not.
Nope.
Star Wars.
We got another half hour at least to go.
The original Star Wars episode. That thing was.
That was a
two
marathon.
2-hour shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was Eric was on that, wasn't he? With us?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
He was.
You were
I
on
believe
that
you were
one.
on that one, Eric.
Where's that short-term memory now?
Wow, that was year one. Man, that was how many videos ago? That was
100 and something.
150 plus videos ago.
Oh, we might not be the fastest out the gate, but we are the most consistent. If you ask
Consistency
me,
is the thing, though.
I look at a lot of, and I do, and I look at a lot of other. I don't watch a lot of other podcasts. I don't have the time,
No, not when
unfortunately.
you're.
But I look at the numbers because it's something I'm invested in now, and I don't see a lot of shows going week to week to week to week for years.
Yeah.
With their entire catalog still available.
I think it's important that we. I've always thought it was important that we have an accessible show, and I know that not everything we talk about is going to have relevance tomorrow, and that's okay. But I mean that there is a record of what we've done that we can go back and look at. And you asked me earlier this year if I had listened. Have you listened to one of our more recent episodes? And the truth was I hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said it doesn't translate very well to the audio only audience, I was like, oh my God, have we gone so far into video that we've forgotten?
Sort of have.
How many podcasts that do that though? How many YouTube shows do that? They just take their video, strip the audio out of it, and throw it up on an audio platform.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And it would be, honestly, guys, I would love to do 2 shows a week, but I don't think we could.
I couldn't. Not when we're doing
not regularly, like clockwork.
When we do a mix of scripted stuff to keep up with the properties that we want to look at and do the full breakdowns on, and really that has been the cornerstone of the show. Really, I like doing it. I panic week after week when we're doing them, especially Andor with its consistent 12 episodes, and they were like some of the longest episodes that we've reviewed at 57 advertised minutes for what, 3 of them?
Yeah.
I mean, even before Andy pushed the live button tonight, all 3 of us were like the Stooges going, we gotta get ready, 10 minutes to showtime.
Trying to set up one microphone that we can all yell at.
Check.
Do we all fit in the lens? Yeah, we all. Okay. Get a chair in here. This is like sitting on a fucking plane. That's a stress hormone response, Wes. You should know that. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. It's true. But I don't stress as much about it as I used to. I still feel like, there's a certain amount of production value that I want to adhere to, that I think that it would be, you would feel bad. I would feel bad if we didn't put something out that wasn't
fun
or watchable. Is that even the right word? I don't know. But
there is stuff out there that's unwatchable.
I do like this. I like the informal. I like the informal hangout. I think Boxing Day is an actual fantastic way to do that. Ken's back. Had to drop out and come back. This has been a fun episode. Okay, we're all here. We are. Oh, they all are. Yes.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate that. Thank you very much, Ken. By the way, if you go to the channels on our YouTube channel, you will see Toy Connections is an awesome pop culture channel that you can subscribe to. Ken from out in BC, a toy-centric channel. And honestly, we don't do enough toy stuff, so you can get your toy fix by watching Ken. And I know he would appreciate the subscribers. So do go and check that out. I'll be appearing on an upcoming episode of Toy Connections here at some point in the new year when Ken decides to drop that video, but
nice.
I will not release the details of that because it's not my video to do so. Suffice to say, I had a lot of fun. Ken says, I tend to obsess over production value too, but I need studio equipment like you three. What you can do on a shoestring is pretty impressive. And, you know, we've had multiple conversations about how easy it is to get in the game. You can do a podcast, a video podcast.
I did it for
nothing more than this.
There's a year I did it on this with.
Yeah. Lots of people use a phone as their primary shooter. Oh, my icon right next to Toy Galaxy. Love it.
Wicked.
There are very few channels that we recommend. So, not because we don't want to. It's just haven't discovered them. Don't know them. Yeah.
Doesn't come up.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, but it's easy. The barrier to entry to do a show like this is very low. It is low.
Something my wife said, and she says it about any, because I'm buying a guitar this week. And then I will have a dusty guitar.
Yeah. Andy and Hank can have the link if they like. I re-uploaded it so I can send you the latest link and you can forward it to them. Woo! Yes, Ken, please do.
Man,
awesome. I wanted to show the guys the work that we had done, and the old link didn't work anymore, so I couldn't show them. So yes, please.
So when I started pouring a lot of energy into my music career,
into the music, yeah.
My wife
Pouring,
said,
not
like,
porn.
pouring. She said, I will help you fund this. Like, I'll help you buy the color. I'll allow you to buy, or I will help you buy the equipment.
Sure.
But I want you to make something first. Because if you're making something with nothing and you can show me that, then that, you know, and if my dad had said that to me,
you're committed to it.
Right? Like, and so she's like, okay, so you want to do some podcasting? Don't go buy a $3,000 suite. Just take your music equipment and start podcasting.
Absolutely. You've already,
and now that you've been doing it for a year, and she's like, okay, now buy a $3,000 computer and have a blast, right?
Yeah.
And so I really think the entry to this is nothing more than the willingness to enter it.
To do it. Yeah.
Every single one of us has a smartphone, I believe.
So I have
that's all you need is a set of headphones and a smartphone.
A friend of mine that has an audio. Well, actually, he's broken into video now too. There was a lot of, I want to do this, but I'm not ready for it because I don't have the gear for it. And I've said this before, never let the gear get in the way of being creative.
Exactly.
Never let the gear get in the way, because if you say that, you'll never make anything.
And you'll have 15 dusty guitars behind you.
Well,
like
you know, I don't even have, what have I got? I got nothing.
Toys.
I got dusty.
Poor
toys.
you.
I got dusty toys. I don't play an instrument.
This is an instrument.
That's true. Well, that's true.
No, I mean this.
Oh, the mixer. The
yeah,
mixer.
Baby.
Yeah. Okay. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing.
Hmm.
That's a whole other. All the Roadcaster people like, don't talk about that other machine. We don't want to know about that. No, it's not a Roadcaster. I'm sorry. But it does allow me to do funny things like I still have this one. Maybe you guys remember.
Love it. I'll be coming.
I have my first bit of gear coming in the new year. We'll talk. I'm very excited.
Cool.
I am very, very. A lapel mic costs $30, free Amazon shipping, and is already better than a phone or laptop microphone.
There you go. That's
See what I mean?
advice.
Like, it is so true.
Some great advice.
Yeah. I've often thought about stuff like that because we've talked about doing some of our location stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it, the first location videos were just me and my phone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. But then we went and did some stuff with your camera and a shotgun microphone.
Yeah.
And it was a relatively inexpensive shotgun microphone. So
my 13 has the camera from like
it's a next level futuristic camera.
Wow, I mean, I showed you those videos of the landing and the takeoff of the plane, and I'm like,
and here's the thing
quality.
too. Like, I don't want to make it a tech show, but I mean, we're on the subject.
We did one of those.
I get asked all the time, what kind of webcam do you have? And the truth is, the best webcam on the market still does not compare to a real camera.
Mm-hmm.
A real camera, like an actual like camera. Like we are currently
digital
doing
SLR.
So we're not full DSLR. We are not a tech show. No, we're not. We're
branching out.
We are currently streaming right now with an older Sony APS-C camera. It's a A6100 with the as I said earlier, the Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4 lens for Sony cameras. No webcam can compare to that. So I mean, but still, an entry-level webcam like the C922 Pro sitting right next to it, you can get that for what, under $100 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, this, even an older generation phone,
gets you right in
has a better camera than most webcams that are out
100%.
there, especially if it's like a meeting cam or a lower end webcam, and you can do a lot with that. So, what's Ken saying now here? But lighting does a lot. I use an Android phone camera, but when you put the toys in a light and studio box, it makes the screen crisp. It does. So that is a very specific use case. Toy photography. Well, I shouldn't even say that. Yes, toy photography is a specific use case scenario, and lighting does make a huge difference. Andy, you're a photographer. You totally understand it in a way that I don't. But again,
my home setup, when you guys see me and I look fairly decent on the screen there.
You do.
But you should see what's on the other side of I should turn it around one day, and you like the things that are like duct tape to things that clip to the edge of the table to bring all the light in.
So
lightsabers off cameras like glowing, and
people. So my fill lights. I don't know if you can see there. You can see the difference there.
Yeah.
This is one of my fill lights. This is literally a can style. It is a faux Hollywood spotlight can style desk lamp. I kid you not, it is diffused with a piece of
paper
towel. Honestly, the hard part is figuring out how your particular sausage is made. Take that step, will snowball everything else. I don't know if I like the sausage analogy, but yes.
What kind of sausage do you want to make?
What kind of sausage do you want to make? That's right.
Yeah.
People that say that I want to do a show, but it's got to be new and original. I appreciate what you're saying.
Good luck.
But let me remind you that practically everything you are watching right now is derivative of something else. Mm-hmm. So, and as Ken can attest to, people like us in the toy space that love toys, we subscribe to multiple toy channels. They're all talking about toys.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just do something that is in your voice that you like, and the audience will find you.
And I've heard it said in modern times that, and especially with things like, like OnlyFans, I'm not promoting it or anything.
Derivative is the new original.
Hey.
Yeah.
That there's a fan base for every single person on the planet now.
Sure there is.
Right? Sure. Some people are going to grab, if you can get your stuff out there, you're going to find people that enjoy what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's taken us a long time. I don't know. Is there the things we could be doing differently? Could we be throwing money at it for advertising and stuff? Sure, we could. Do you really want to?
They keep telling us to.
I actually
get those emails all the time.
Yeah.
Would you like to spend $5 more to promote this post?
Well, that one comment that came up earlier. Hey, pay us and we'll bump your subscribers.
Yeah. The spam body. Yeah, no, thank you.
Buy people
no,
not that way. No, I'd rather give you a toy for your hard work.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I feel like there is something to be said for the old-fashioned way of grinding it out and putting in the hours. Mm-hmm. Do we have we've had exponential growth? Do we have like crazy exponential growth? No, but people are finding us.
Growth is growth.
Yeah. The hardest thing is going back to see a video from a year ago to see how much you improved. Then a year from now, you look back on today and find nuances. So we were just talking about that earlier. Having a record of everything we've done. Mm-hmm. Man, when we made the decision to go to live streaming for the sake of cutting down on the editing process, the content just went up exponentially. Mm-hmm. And it is it's painful. I go back and I've listened to the very first episode, and I am so subdued. Hello, this is Wes. Welcome to the Fandom Power Podcast, the show where we talk about all things pop culture. And it is that's not, who's that guy? Yeah. Well, your episodes went from 10 to 30 views, like 50 to 100 now, so you can see that the FPP is growing. Yes, it is. Yeah, we're very lucky to be where we are, and we're happy that
it's super fun too. Yeah, it's hella fun. It remains.
And I mean, all you guys who are in the chat right now, you all are fans of something. As I've said before, and not to pump the tires again, we do have a Patreon. And at our top tier level of Patreon, you can pitch us a show idea. And if we take your show idea, you can be a guest host Come on the show with us.
If we get to
and be a guest
500
host.
subscribers, I will pay for someone's Patreon account.
Well, there's a big one for you. That's wow. Have you looked at the Patreon lately? You know, I changed the rates.
No,
I did. The lowest rate is now $1.
well, hey,
The highest rate is only $3.
well, there we go.
$3.
And that's,
Affordable.
you know,
$3.
drink us like coffee, boys.
LOL, grind it out. Go put out resumes, pound the pavement. The game is changed, buddy. There are people who get declined for parts in Hollywood for not having enough Instagram followers. Wow. Is that a thing?
That is a thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary where the whole
Is it?
thing was to take nobodies and get them Instagram fame, which would leapfrog them into Hollywood fame.
Wow. I
What's
haven't
that
looked at
movie
it
on
in a
Netflix
while.
with Diego Luna where it's a movie about making a movie during COVID? And one of the stars of the movie is an influencer, and she's only there because she's got 1 million followers.
Oh, I don't
And she,
know what that is.
but it's a really good movie. But she falls apart in a scene on camera and loses a whole bunch of viewers, and they like remove her from the movie
I
based on that.
legitimately don't know what that is.
That's
I'll have to find it. Yeah, it's really meta
Here it
and
is.
very
Where
good.
is it? So what? Instagram. We have, comparatively speaking, we have nothing. We got 239 Instagram posts. We have 60 followers. We
Yeah.
have more YouTube subscribers.
Right. And I mean, so, and that's the thing. I was talking to this about Wes earlier. Like, my Instagram is nutty. I guess it's not nutty compared to some people, but I find it nutty for me because all I do is take pictures of usually boxed toys. Sometimes I unbox them and take them. I love action figure photography, and my Instagram account is like pretty much exclusively that. Sometimes I get political.
Yeah.
I try not to, but I have like almost 700 followers.
Oh, that's great.
And it's
That's
such a great community. And try as I might to post our stuff there, it doesn't take off because, and this is why I'd like to do some dedicated unboxing videos for Fandom
Specifically
Power, because I think that that's a market that we can pull a lot of people in.
Again,
and once we have them by the short
as a broad show, and maybe that is to our detriment, is that we
The
are
bubble.
too
There's Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, the bubble.
Right.
The bubble. Okay. I say this, the joke, and again, the joke, we're not a Star Wars show, but we do so much Star Wars content
We're
because
pretty heavy in Star
it's
Wars.
easy to talk about. I mean, the passion from
I'm
us
super
is
passionate
there.
about it. Yeah.
Trying to do a broad-based pop culture show, is that detrimental? Are we spreading ourselves too thin? Should we be focused? I don't know.
The real thing is that we can't possibly do this twice a week at this quality.
No.
Of like even personal quality.
Yeah.
And with this much Star Wars content, it's really like we had a hard time with Tales of the Jedi, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
We had to put it on the back burner.
Right.
Andor was
And
We
on.
couldn't
you know,
because it was over
even
top
though-
of Andor. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And we're going to have that problem with Mando and the Bad
That's
Batch,
right. That's right.
So we're going to have to come to terms with that. But if there wasn't that Star Wars content, like, monthly,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
I figure we'll be talking about something else that we're passionate about now that we've got the bug.
I think we would. I mean,
We do work really hard to find topics to talk about when there's no Star Wars to talk about.
I remember I pitched
There's
a
always
show
Star Wars
idea.
to talk about.
I pitched a show idea a while ago that I haven't forgotten about it. Grand larceny.
Piercing damage.
Ah.
Grand larceny. I talked about that. We never got to that.
No.
That's still sitting in
No.
the back burner.
What was the hair episode we talked about too?
Hair.
The different hairstyles in Hollywood. There was it was
right,
like based on a
right,
weird
right,
turn
right.
of phrase.
Yeah. I don't remember what the hell that was.
Yeah.
I feel like, and some of this is, again, going back to the production aspect of things. It's like we do a lot of live streaming. The shows that I watch that are about live streaming, about becoming a better live streamer, they all say the same thing. Take your live streams and repurpose them.
Mm.
We've done that. We've
Mhm.
been cutting up the live streams into smaller, bite-sized, consumable portions, like the quad jumper video and the Fisherman Brothers, and those
Whale
videos.
meat.
Yes,
I don't know how you guys out there feel, but I've always, because almost everybody tonight is with us almost every week
all the
live,
time. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if you had the option to take one of our 2-hour
Live streams,
episodes,
yeah.
live streams, unedited, except for that it was chopped into maybe 20-minute segments, would you watch
Is that
episode 1 through 10 of a 2-hour show? Is that more palatable for an offline experience? Although it would put a tremendous strain on this guy editing it all out. But is that something that like that appeals to you guys? Because I personally, I don't click on anything that's longer than 20 minutes. And I'm asking a lot of you guys to engage with us for 2 hours. And I'm so happy that you do.
It's wild being on this side of the camera.
It's weird because I literally go, that thing is, I don't have a half hour.
I don't have a half an hour. Yeah.
Right. And
so no surprise. Well, actually quite surprising. What's the length of the DC-17, Andy? It's what, 5 minutes?
And that's
it's right there. 5 minutes and 56 seconds.
And that's the thing.
Yep. So that is the runaway right now on the channel at it's
1.9.
Yeah, so 1900. It was 1989, I think, when I looked at it today. That's the longest gun video that I've done, and it's sub 6 minutes.
Mm.
But when you look at the analytics on that, the peak watch on that is only about half of the video. That's like 2 or 3 minutes and change, right? So
I get that with my music all the time.
A 3-minute song and people only listen for 20 seconds?
I get it all the time.
Seconds? Yeah.
I get it all the time. It's like, what do I have to do in the first 10 seconds to grab your attention?
Isn't that weird?
Because the punchlines are at the end, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So put all the stuff you want people to see at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, and then the other advice I got was like, you got to give them a reason to stick around.
Who is our audience too? Now, all you guys, I don't know your ages. Eric, you talk a lot about being a different generation, younger generation. And is it that shorter videos grab the kids? You know, do we want the kids? Do we want guys that are 50 sitting around? Hi, Glenn. Do we want guys that are sitting around our age on Boxing Day? Where's your family, man? Thank you for joining us. So let us know, guys, if it's something that like if we want, we can try to do like shorter versions of these things, or even. So
the majority of our audience are 18 to 24-year-olds, and they are 100%. That's not true because my wife is a subscriber.
Sure,
but it is predominantly male audience from the United States. That is our audience by the numbers.
Yeah, right.
But it's always like that. Even my videos with lots of views, 30 to 45% retention time, but your core viewers will all watch till the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that comes back to that, what I was saying before. I know, Eric, you'd said it's a different world now, but that whole grinding it out thing, to me, there's still value in that.
I agree.
There's value in that.
You're always going to get randos clicking on stuff.
Yes.
And if you can catch their attention, they might join you again.
It's that whole, and I mean, there are entire YouTube channels dedicated to coaxing and massaging the algorithm.
Yeah.
Which is why I tell people, like, look, even if you don't comment on the video, put an emoji, just like a one button emoji in the comments. At least it's interaction with the video that tells the algorithm, oh, people are interacting with this. There's a better likelihood that it'll come up as a recommended.
One of my least favorite things about watching creators on YouTube is when they're like, we're going to put a link right up here,
and then they don't.
And they don't.
Yeah.
That drives me mental.
I'll put a link right here.
I really want to know what you're talking about.
All our links are down here.
Yeah, in the description.
That's right.
Well, my dad did to a cop one time. Gotta be careful. You wearing a seatbelt, sir? Right, I'm wearing a seatbelt, buddy, right now. You got pulled over.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, hell, leave a dislike. It's still interaction. That's so true because
it's the Sex Pistols model, right?
Yeah.
Any news is good news. Like if we all stripped naked and had a mud fight right now, we might go viral.
You know, I'm pretty sure that
especially bad news.
The fellow that left a quite a lengthy comment on the DC-17 video is not going to watch this live stream.
No,
probably not.
No,
but like that was like a next level comment.
Sure.
Which now you're all going to go and read it now. Like, you know what I'm talking about when you see it. But
you got to know that when you get into this, having spent almost more time in comments than in videos, you are going to have a thick skin to do this.
Absolutely. And
people are going to come at us with the most inane, minute things.
Ken and I have actually had this conversation about like, do you read your own comments and like you said, the thick skinnedness of it, with time, it does. The criticism might be there.
I will put on our episode after we record it every time, and Lauren's like, "You just have you forgotten what you've done already? And
Yeah,
no,
sure,
it's
sure.
like, I know it's live, but it's quality control for next time almost, or it's a narcissistic criticism of what I'm doing. And I try to adjust every episode based on things that I see.
I will say that I have slowed down. I used to watch every episode front to back.
Yeah.
Like we've done it. We'll finish the live stream and then I'll go upstairs. I'll have my dinner and I'll go to bed and I'll be like, I got an hour. I'll watch, because I wanted to critique myself and try to make a better product.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yes.
I spend less time doing that because
touch my face too much. Look at me touch my face.
Yeah. But that's early on. That's early stuff that I think everybody goes through is I call it the finding your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, and it's not just about your voice. It's your camera presence, your on-screen persona. It's part of that.
Who you is.
Yeah, and who I isn't. Yeah.
My name is Wes, and this is Phantom Power.
Well, again, there you go.
Anyone?
That's right. Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah. Bueller.
Do you guys like toys?
You know me. I would love to do more toy content. So,
yeah, me too. Me too.
And as an open,
I filmed an intro to an unboxing video. I just haven't friggin' got one going.
As an open box collector, I'm way behind on my unboxing.
I call myself a recovering inbox collector.
Yeah. It helps sometimes. I learned a lot of rewatching the Vox episode, especially after that talk we had. Right. So that goes into show flow or show notes, and just, you know, me, I'm not necessarily, it doesn't have to be scripted line for line, but outside of this kind of thing where we're just hanging out talking to friends, if you're doing something where you have a topic, you still have to have a show flow of how that's going to go.
Sure.
And things can go sideways pretty quickly when you're trying to pull it out of your whoop whoop.
Yes. Yeah. Because if you stumble for a sec and can't recover, you're shuffling through notes. And imagine Jimmy Fallon doing that in front of America, right? Cut.
Hold on a minute.
We're gonna go to commercial. Yeah, go to commercial.
I mean, it does help. It does help to have certain elements scripted.
So yeah, of course it does. And I mean, the way that we do our beat for beats, you really have to have that script for the context of the Easter egg or the lore connection.
Crammed so much into it.
Yeah.
Way to go, art department.
Art department.
That art is something else.
I live on improv. I wasn't prepared for the level of prep that you expected. Learn and improve. Okay, that's fair. That is fair.
It is. I mean, the first time that they asked me to lead an episode, I also had no idea what I was in for. And you do. I've said that, like, I feel like a tourist sometimes, and not in a bad way, because I love being, it's my favorite vacation weekly, right? Yeah. But it is a tremendous amount of work, and there's so much gratification in hard work.
I agree with that.
And the products, I think, really speak for themselves.
I feel like having the show, having it be the three of us, I find, first of all, I was super grateful the first time and I think it was me that was like, I'm in a bit of a bind. I won't be able to lead this week's up. The first time that I had to ask for one of you guys to lead it, and it was like, yeah. I was like, and then Kim was like, well, what's that going to be like? I'm like, I don't know. We've been doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks. They'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I don't need to say, oh, by the way, you need to do it this way, because we each have a voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just, sure, we have a similar format.
I don't know if you guys agree, but I go back and I watch our episodes and the ones that I can't be on, and I feel like maybe narcissist. I feel like I'm missing something. The show is missing something. But then there's episodes where Andy hasn't been on, and I'm like, oh, sure, I really need that energy there. And the episodes that you can't be on. And I think we've got this little lightning thing in a bottle going. It really feels like a lot of chemistry is going on here.
There's no question that if somebody needs to be absent for any reason, that one of the others will go, okay, I got it.
The greatest thing that I don't think Doug's with us tonight, but the greatest thing my good buddy Doug back in Halifax has told me, goes, when I'm listening to you guys, and he also doesn't very rarely watch us live.
The video version.
He listens to an audio podcast while he's driving often to pick his son up. the one thing he says is it's like you guys are hanging out in the back seat and we're just having a conversation, and he'll talk to his radio all the time.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that makes me go, that's what I'm going for. That's what I really want, is to feel professional but casual as hell, because that's how that's how you guys can interact with us. That's how you can feel comfortable being around us.
I do love the whole round table sort of thing, which includes all of you guys. I absolutely love that, whether it's here in the live format, whether it's an email, or whether it's
on a social media post.
Yeah, like I love that stuff. So like I make a point. We're small enough right now that every YouTube comment that we've ever had, I think either you or I or somebody has responded to it.
Hell yeah.
I make a point, and there probably will come a time when I won't do that because I don't want people to know it's me.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, if I comment on something on our YouTube channel, because it comes up Fandom Power, I'll put the comment and I'll put ... Wes. You know, like, so people know that it's me.
Right.
Yeah.
I try to interact as myself as much as I can.
Yeah.
There's a new thing that's popped up now, and I'm sorry, guys. It is asking me to join a meta toolkit thing.
Sure.
So I can't
I
can't actually interact as Phantom Power anymore.
So yeah, we can talk about that after, but later. That's an easy one to fix. That's an easy one. Yeah. Wow, we've where are we at? We're
giving that longest episode.
We are giving it
that last 49 minutes took like 5 seconds, didn't it?
The fact that a bunch of you have stayed with us all this way, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love you guys so much. That's great.
Wow,
fantastic.
Listen, guys, I hope that everybody out there has had a wonderful Christmas. New Year's is right around the corner. I hope you're going to do something awesomely fun for New Year's, whatever that is. Please be safe. I know here in Ontario and much of the country, we've been under crazy weather warnings at different points of the country this past week. Things are looking pretty good here for the next few days, so I'm
be in
quite
the air
happy
soon.
about that. Yeah. Love to hear from you guys. Love to know what's going on in your life, what's going on in your world, what you want from us. But even if you don't, that's fine, because there will be lots more coming down the pipe.
Yeah, man. And above all, thanks for consistently joining us.
You guys doing great. Look forward to more collabs in the new year. Power forward. That is the plan.
Yeah, man.
I think we can call it a night. I think
that's been an episode.
It's been a great time hanging out, and I wish we could do this more often.
The budget for this show is roughly around $700, by the
way. Just to put it into perspective, we are longtime teenagers, friends. I have not seen you face to face since 2009.
Yes.
2009.
Yes, sir.
So this has been a very special episode for me. I'm glad that we all got to do this together.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got to do it with you guys. So listen, guys.
Merry ho ho.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Until next time, guys, for Fandom Power, my name is Wes.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Hank.
And we will all be back on the next one. Bye for now, guys.